Okay, Israel, shalom. Hope everybody is doing well today. Shout out Sword of Truth family, Kawakab, Miyataza in Guatemala and London, England. The brothers and sisters that they're responsible for, California all the way through Georgia. Hope everybody's doing well today. Also, shout out Stream of Wisdom family, Zakia in Virginia, Quatazop in Houston, Texas, and Zion in Rochester, New York. Hope everybody is doing well over there as well. Back at it again. We look up. It's we had Saturday class. Now we're back on it on Monday. The grind doesn't stop. The word don't stop. The teaching don't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Not like that.
Not like that.
Can't stop reading the Bible.
I didn't throw
the other. Yeah.
Exactly. We're not going to do that. But shalom, everybody. Today's class is more centered for young brothers, and it's focusing on young brothers who are working themselves up in the rank. For the brothers who were at the Passover in San Antonio, we had a lot of promotions with the ranking and the positioning, and I just think it's very important as brothers start to ascend in responsibility, ascend in rank, that we never forget the one constant mindset and spiritual mindset that we have to have progressing forward as young hundreds, thousands, 5,000, so forth and so on, because the mindset that you learn now is essential in being a proper shepherd for the camp and for the school and for the nation. The lessons you're learning now, the priorities that you're learning now is essential if you want to be responsible for brothers long term in Christ.
And there's a right way to be a shepherd,
yes,
and there's a wrong way to be a shepherd.
Yes.
Just because you got beard, braids, and you're a Hebrew, and you have an alphabet number, an alphabet acronym for your camp, does not necessarily mean that I am a good leader, that I am a good guide, or that I'm a good figure for men to conform themselves into.
Exactly.
There's a right and there's a wrong approach to this.
And I don't care how much rank you get, how many years, how much responsibility you're given, how tenured you are in the work. If you don't have these principles, you won't be lasting long in that position. That's a fact. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into first St. John chapter 13, verse 1 through 17. St. John chapter 13,
and what do you mean
verse 1 through 17.
What do you mean we won't be lasting long in that? What do you mean?
Well, we've been kind of going over, I don't know if everybody's been liking the message we've been teaching, but a lot of Sabbaths we've been going over how, based off of how you treat your brothers and sisters will determine how long you'll be tenured in that position. And the Most High is looking expressly on how we treat people, how we look at people, and how we carry ourselves around our people that we are teaching and that we're responsible for. And if we don't take this responsibility serious from the time of being an officer going on up, you're going to not find success in this position, and not find success in teaching the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? So let's go into this real quick. Yeah, the Most High Christ. Salakia.
No, I'm just saying for the people.
For the people that don't know the Hebrew. So let's do this. St. John chapter 13, verse 1 through 17.
St. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father.
Stop. Keep going.
Having loved his own, which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
So I think this verse in this chapter is outstanding because Christ knew he was about to get what? Ratted on, outed, taken advantage of, used. He knew that a person that he was working with had the worst intention in the world against him. How many of y'all think a person has a beef with you and you start glitching around? How many brothers and sisters think at one time or another that a person doesn't have their best interest at heart Are you able to operate with them with a straight face? Are you able to operate with them with a pure outlook and with a peaceable, loving attitude? If you even suspect
unfairness,
or you think a person is fake, or you think a person is unfair, or a person is two ways,
or I'm being picked upon,
or you run into a person that you think is a two-way person, is one way around you, another way away from you. These are issues that we as Israelite brothers and sisters face every single day. Christ could read people's minds, so there wasn't a doubt that Judas was out to get him. But they're about to sit back here and celebrate the Passover, knowing that you're going to go around people who have a problem with it. We're going to see how Christ carried himself, knowing without a shadow of a doubt that people will have it out for him. This is very important, because when we think somebody has it out for us, we act different.
Yeah.
Our attitude changes. How we talk with people is shorter.
Based on a suspicion.
Based on a suspicion that may or may not be true. Christ knew this person was out to get him, and that he still goes to the feast and operates as if everything's okay. Let's continue.
Verse 2. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him.
But he already knew, Christ knew what was going to happen already. But after the Passover meal was when Judas knew he was going to sit back here and put that wickedness into action. It was confirmed in his heart. And right after he left from the brothers' meeting and gathering, and they had their lamb, and can you imagine that? Can you imagine right after like the Passover we had, somebody you hugged in depth just left and went to the sheriff and snitched on you like Takashi did this? It's him. It's him.
That guy.
Can you imagine that? How the level of betrayal that would feel? You would feel in a situation like that? But let's continue.
Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from the Most High, and went unto the Most High.
So Christ knew the Most High gave Christ all the power to do whatever he felt he needed to do. And that when he died, he was going to come back to the Heavenly Father. He knew his role. He knew his responsibility on earth. He knew his job. Okay, read on.
He riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself.
So he sat back here after he ate with everybody, knowing there was a snitch amongst them. Took off his garment, had his undergarments on, which were still clothes, and he started sitting back here and girded himself to do the real work. A lot of Israel, in my time in Israel for 30 some odd years of doing this work, I'm not going to say most, that's not true. A lot of our people made so much about Passover garments, the look, the rank. I mean, I can't tell you, brothers was going all out for Passover back in the day. They wore the fanciest, most majestic garments money can buy.
And nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm going to say this. There is nothing wrong with that. But a lot of our people put the majority of their energy and their spirit into looking the rank, looking the position, looking the part, looking like they came out the fourth dimension, looking potent as hell. Because that's what brothers will be trying to do. I don't want to come out like I'm looking like the priest, like I came out the fourth dimension. I was with the Alahayim just 5 minutes ago. Now I'm going to sit back here and get with y'all. I'm going to get with y'all and see how y'all are doing too. I got to be about the people too. Well, Christ sat back here, did what he was supposed to do ritually, routinely, but sat back here, and after the routine, after the garments, after the pomp and circumstance, then he sat back here and did what this was really about. He took his garment off, and he girded himself, took a towel, and girded himself. Read on. Yes, sir?
That was some elaboration on his towel.
Okay.
It said an apron, towel or apron, with which servants put on when about to work.
Major.
Listen, he put his real work clothes on, the real garments he's supposed to put on. It was like, listen, Have you ever been to a bar? When you go see a bartender, you know a bartender really knows what he's talking about when he got his apron on. When he has his like bartender apron, like this guy mixes drinks. I want to know the history of what I'm drinking right now. And he'll sit back here and tell you the history of this scotch.
These are from the Oaks.
He'll sit back
Scotland.
here. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're met a guy like that, but if you go to like real fancy spots, they'll sit back here and have their apron on, and these guys are masters of explaining the alcohols and where they come from or where they originate. And I'm like, tell me more. And I will give you a better tip because of what you're doing and how you're carrying yourself. You earned it.
This is triple filtered.
Exactly. And they really go into the history.
Charcoal filters this process to make it
If you know, you know. I'm not trying to get deep about it. But what are we explaining is that when Christ had the apron on, that meant he really meant business. And this is what servants wear when they're prepared to do what's really important.
There's no glory in that.
There's no glory at all. It's not about, as we continue to read on, it isn't about the garments and the show for the Passover. What it's really about is what you do before, in the middle, and after the Passover. It's the dirty work that you're not against having to do, the toil that you're not against, so that your body, the people, get taken care of. We're going to explain.
That doesn't bother me.
Huh.
Because that's the key element too.
Because I'm not going to lie to you, even when you see from afar, you think getting rank is about power, position, the priesthood, leverage. The teaching, leverage, strength. But that's not what it's really about. The strength is in what Christ is about to do to his disciples. Okay? Read verse 4 again.
St. John chapter 13, verse 4. He riseth from supper and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself.
So he girded himself in servant's clothing. He girded himself in servant's clothing. Read on.
After that, he poured water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
So he sat back here and got down and dirty with corn toes out, dirty feet, busted up feet. There's nothing about washing a person's feet,
that's glorious.
A man's feet, that's honorable. Most brothers be having those like Bilbo Baggins feet out. They're hairy and big and gross out. You got to wash 12 men's feet out and sit back here and put the work in out. There's no glory in that. But it was very important that Christ sat back here and did all this dirty work to show, listen, he is the King of Kings. Christ is the King of Kings and is washing grown men's feet.
With a servant towel. In contrast to the Pharisees.
Yes. In contrast to the Pharisees walking around here asking Christ, we're going to read it later on, why are you sitting out here eating with these sinners, man? These publicans.
And we're not using Pharisees for the point of just saying they're bad guys. We're just showing that there's a social contrast. The most educated, the sharpest, most elite, and most financially well-off men with family lines that have a history of political power in the nation for hundreds of years would not put themselves in that position.
And I'm going to say this. A lot of times when a person has said, hey, you're a general, sometimes people think, I don't got to do dirty work anymore.
I mean, I'm done.
Sometimes you think you're a captain. All of a sudden, I don't got to sit back here and grind with work that I think is menial, work that I think is beneath me.
Or it's time for you to
It's the same thing with sisters.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care if you're an elder sister. Does that mean you can't clean up anymore? Does that mean sisters, the young sister, got to do all the work and you can just sit back and lay up and chill?
I already did that.
I did that 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
I did it before you got here. I'm done.
That's the point. Now it's your time to do it. Is that really the example that the elder sister or elder brother has to take? Christ was the elder of everything. When Christ is talked about in the scriptures, Christ calls himself I wisdom. Christ, listen, you read in Ecclesiastes 24, he said, I was the breath of the Most High. The Most High breathed me into existence. What am I trying to say? The power and entity that had his hands on the creation of all the earth, is sitting back here washing the feet of 12 disciples. Let's continue.
Come. St. John chapter 13 and verse 6 now. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet?
And you gonna wash my feet too? Read on.
Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter.
He says, you don't understand it now, but you're going to know it later. When you're responsible for people, and every day of your life, you have to be an example of strength, fortitude, and consistency for the men you're responsible for. So right now, it might not make a lot of sense to you that I'm doing all this extra stuff for you guys, but you'll figure it out later.
And what I love about this instance is he's showing how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's letting you know, I will do this in action.
Yep.
It's not a command.
It's not. I'm not being forced to do it because I want to do it.
And
I'm taking pride in it. I'm taking pride in this. Exactly. And this is so important for us to operate the same way. You can never lose the ability, no matter how many years, how tenured, how much rank, how many accolades you get. You can never lose the ability to serve and to be of service to people, because that's what this job is. Your job is to serve and to be of service. The glory is in the fact that you are an instrument used by the Most High to serve His people. And that's the mindset we need to learn how to nurture as quickly as possible.
The glory, if you're really beamed in correctly, the glory is the service.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Beamed in correctly.
And this is what Paul says constantly as we read throughout the New Testament. And Peter is starting to learn on a first-hand basis after Christ tells him, hey, later on you're going to realize what this really means. But let's continue.
Conversation. Peter said to him, Thou shalt never wash my feet.
And then Peter's being extra spiritual and being over-righteous. And he's like, you're not going to wash my feet. I know who you are. You're my Lord. Why am I going to have you wash my feet? Read on.
Yahushua answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me.
Listen, man, if I can't serve you, you're not making a kingdom. You're not going to have any part of the next kingdom. And what does Peter say? Read on.
Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head.
Listen, anoint me all the way. All my feet, my toes, my neck, everything. Wash it all. Because Christ was like, listen, man, nobody can absolve themselves from this message, from this lesson that I have to show you.
And God said this too. And he was showing if you can't allow me to instill this moral in you,
then you're going to be a whore. Then you can't be the rock of the church.
You cannot lead because you won't allow me to instill this lesson. A lot of us are falling as men and falling in a camp or falling in life in general because we're rejecting lessons that need to be instilled. So if Peter, even if he's, I'm just showing you respect, Christ. I'm just showing you so much respect. If the lesson's not penetrating, I can't perform my responsibility.
And that's the point. And it's so important that every day we show a living example of how to operate the way Christ does. Okay? Let's continue.
Yahushua said unto him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit.
Where are we at? Verse 10, right?
Verse 10.
Read it from the top again.
St. John chapter 13, verse 10. Yahushua said unto him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet.
You don't have to wash your feet because I washed it. Read on.
But is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all.
But now he's sitting back here and he's saying, y'all are clean, but there's one of y'all dudes who aren't. He isn't going to sit back and name his name yet. But you know what he still did? He physically cleaned all 12 of the disciples' feet. But can you imagine? Can you imagine the amount of humility and selflessness it took to still serve the man and wash the man's feet that you know was going to rat you out and sell you out to get crucified? Why is that such an important part for us to focus on? Because the crazy thing is this. It's easier to be brotherly to somebody that is brotherly to you, or is respectful to you, that obeys you.
Yeah.
That's easy. What's hard is when you don't understand somebody. I'm going to go into understanding first, let alone what Christ is dealing with. Christ is dealing with the most extreme
He's an adversary.
of the sin. This guy is out to get him. He knows it, and I got to wash his dirty you-know-what's feet. We sit back here and just don't understand people. And because we don't understand people, we see the worst in them.
Or we have a disagreement.
Or we have a disagreement, and we see the worst in them. And we sit back here and can't even talk to a brother properly, or can't maintain our discipline and respect with somebody because I don't agree with you. We sit back and fight and argue over the smallest things.
Yeah.
Christ knew this guy was going to get him killed. And I'm still going to wash feet. Now, I'm going to cut you with words and with the message, but I'm going to still go through and execute my responsibility. These are the lessons that are so important for us to learn. Because the Most High is going to constantly check our intention, our reasons for getting up in the morning, our reasons for doing the good that we do. And it doesn't matter if a person appreciates what you do. Why do men quit on other men? Why do men quit on students? Why do men get angry at students?
I got a couple reasons.
Okay. Because there are a couple.
There's a lot. Number one is there's no, if you're a selfish person, mean that you have to get something back.
Yeah.
A lot of us do things and we do good works.
And,
There's nothing wrong with that.
But we do it for respect.
There's a string attached to it.
A lot of us, we do good. I'll do good to you as long as you respect me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times,
you owe me this.
You owe me respect. You owe me. You have to talk to me a certain way for me to keep working with you. You have to tolerate. For me to tolerate you. You have to respect me.
And that's correct in the world. It's just not correct in the realm of Christ.
In the realm of Christ.
And this is the confusion that happens in Israel. We take worldly premises, and sometimes we translate those worldly premises inside the spiritual realm.
Listen, did he have to wash this dude's feet, who he knew was going to rat him out?
We would all say, like, listen, I'm washing everybody else's feet but yours, because I know where you're at.
And I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to keep it real and tell everybody, you the one.
Everybody, turn around. This dude's a snake.
Yep.
That's the real.
I can see the weakness in this man right through his iris.
Listen, I got proof. God. Listen, that's more realistic for us.
Yeah, we're keeping it real.
Why did you wash my feet? Oh, you want to know why? You really want to know why?
I'm gonna tell you why.
And then that's where we're coming from.
You can't do that.
But not in Christ's realm. Not
in Christ. You know what the crazy thing is? What Christ is showing us is, even though he knew Judas was negative, the Most High was like, or Christ was like, I have to let this man run his course.
That's hard to do.
Well, because you know why? Because in this world, we want to keep things real and speak how we feel, and I'm gonna tell you how you make me feel. That's not Christ. There's sometimes you know where a person's head is at, and you have to let them run their course until they're ready to be talked to and counseled.
And we've been through that. I'm not trying to blow horns. We've done that many times with the counsel. Be, hey, this brother's off, and you can see it, and this is what's going on. And you've always said, "Con," but you have to let him make his choice, because it's in the day.
There's a lot of Captain Obvious Israelites.
Yeah.
You know, you start rolling up in the ranks as 100. He is wicked. I saw him do this, and that.
He's sinning.
But then I'm like, well, does he see that he's sinning? Does he see it? Well, he has to. He has to. Like, no.
I know he knows he's sinning.
I know he's off. Like, listen, bro, you got to teach. And you got to show him until he sees it. That's why the scripture says that the foolishness of what?
Teaching or preaching.
There's the foolishness of preaching. Because you got to teach until they see it. Until they're ready to see it.
Just because you pulled the scripture and you wrote the class and you gave the counsel.
You put the time in.
Because that's what we get mad about. We get mad about all the energy we put into people, and we don't see. You might get like a millisecond or a milli-inch of growth in that person.
And I'm going to tell you this. If Christ wouldn't have washed his feet, that would have been the reason why Judas was justified to rat him out. Because that's how people look at things. They look at they could be dead wrong in their conduct, but they're looking at what you do and how you respond to me.
You took me personal.
And because you take me personal, this is why I'm not going to lock in.
I'm justified in doing this.
I'm not going to listen to the 5 hours of investment you put into me because of how you responded back. You raised your voice to me, so now I'm not going to listen.
We do this especially in our marriages. We are especially guilty of this in marriage. If it's a counsel with somebody who's in the body, it's not a problem. Well, if it's a counsel somebody that I'm emotionally connected to, it's hard to be the priest.
Yep.
It's hard to be the officer.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're switching from Christ mode to flesh mode.
Okay.
And this shows our degree of immaturity and what we need to work at. That's why this class is so important. It's not because we're just another week, we just got something to say. We're trying to show you how to maintain your Christ mindset so Christ blesses your leadership.
And you can continue to grow in Christ.
With people. Come.
So Christ's example had to be perfect just to set the stage so he could be blameless.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually the offender will realize that he was off.
Because
it wasn't about the fact that Christ knew he was off. Sometimes, most of the time, people got to run their course regardless. And there's no need for preemptive strikes. Just to sit back and protect yourself. So Christ had to wash this man's feet, going through the entire process.
Yes, and again, because listen, people miss that point. There's no need for preemptive strikes. A preemptive strike is out of fear.
Yeah.
That's the spirit
The
of
fear of being hurt, let down.
I want to be let down because really we're running from flashbacks we had in the world.
Yeah.
Because
you know why? As Israelite teachers, brothers owe me for the counsel.
Yeah.
There is a controlling factor that comes from teaching that has to get destroyed
completely
from young officers. Because I tell you this, Israelites like to teach and they like to control the people they teach, control the narrative. They want to control people's obedience, and we can't control anybody. Christ had to drop a message, and whether you received it, or no, you didn't.
And you harped on this for years in our councils from when you were raising me. You for years said, "Listen, bro, that's on that person's. It's that person's job to make the choice." We think we can be Bible masters and manipulate a person's mind to do something that they should do, even if it's to their own benefit.
And when I say when he says manipulate, with the best intention.
Yeah, it's not to hurt. I'm trying to make sure this person stops breaking this.
And doesn't fall.
You're destroying your house, or you're about to leave the truth, or you're about to destroy your growth. Yep. So what can I do? Because I care more than you care. Exactly. And you know what? Just because you care, it's still their lesson. And we have to, because you can push people away.
Let's continue in the class because we can go into this and go very far into this. But let's continue because this is our first verse, man. We got a lot.
Elisha got some verses ready. He got 13 minutes.
I got like 3.
13 minutes is what he's
Be not lords over the Most High's inheritance.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I do have
St. John.
Yeah, 13 and what, sir?
Verse 10 now. Yahushua said to him, He that is washed needeth not to save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore he said, Ye are not all clean.
And another fact is, I'm telling you, we're going to have to get thick-skinned because people are going to let you down. Brothers are going to let you down. Sisters are going to let you down. You're going to give your full spirit to people, and they're not going to appreciate what you bring to the table. And that's an aspect of serving the Most High in Christ. And we have to learn. And the funny thing is, when people let you down, the biggest lesson about being let down with brothers and sisters in the truth is that ultimately the lesson is to teach us to give for free. When we get let down, our first instinct is to retract, go back into ourselves, and give less and less and less. But the crazy thing is, if we really understand the message of Christ, you get hurt, you get taken advantage of, you get screwed over to teach you that it wasn't about what you gave and how you got treated wrong. Weren't you supposed to give because Christ wants you to give? Weren't you supposed to give to this brother and this sister because it was the right thing to do? Right? But it's hard for us to digest that. Because if we do good to somebody, we expect that same measure of good to come our way from that exact person, and that's not life. So the betrayal is a reminder that you're supposed to give, but know to whom thou givest to. And if I can understand that, I can give for free, and I can protect myself from being hateful and cold and disconnected every time my expectation of a brother or sister is let down. Let's continue.
Verse 12. So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you?
Do you know what I did for you? Read on.
Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say well, for so am I.
This is, you got to inject yourself in here.
For so I am.
For so I am. You're whatever rank you are, and so you are. Read on.
If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet.
And that's the point. If I'm the one over you, I'm the person of rank over you, and I'm sitting back here and washing your feet, then that means you got to do the same thing for who? For each other and for students that are lesser in rank and position than you. This is what we have to learn now. As brothers are starting to get elevated in rank, you can't lose track of what this is really about. For these brothers in our camp that are officers of 1,000, they're getting rank up. You're now you're supposed to be now a more highly skilled servant. Not a highly skilled boss. Because brothers be thinking getting rank means you're a boss now. Like it's some damn crime boss stuff. I'm the boss. You got to go through me before you go through the big guy. It's not that. Listen, sometimes brothers be rolling like that. That's how brothers roll and how they talk to people sometimes. Am I lying? No, I'm not lying. You got to go through me like I had to go through to learn the boss. I had to sit back here and suffer, so I'm going to make you suffer. I'm telling you, that's how it was, that's how it is, and that's how it will be. Because we tell ourselves, I've sacrificed, I've gone through so much, I'm going to have to make you go through all the suffering I went through. Is that not what brothers think? Because in their head, they went, in every young officer's head, they went through supernatural hell.
That's how they justify it.
So because I went through supernatural hell, I'm going to make it hard on you. What you don't realize, your version of supernatural hell is really mercy. You don't realize your version of hell was really divided by 15. Because what you don't realize is how many times you were messing up and brothers gave you a bunch of chances. All you focus on is how you felt and how much pressure you felt. So you're going to sit back here and step on so many toes until you feel like you've redeemed yourself. You're going to sit back here and make other people's lives uncomfortable because I suffered. I've seen that. I felt that. I experienced that when I was young in the truth. That's the mindset every young officer has. And that's exactly what you're not supposed to do. I said that's a double negative. You're not supposed to do that. How about that? Okay, so read that. Continue verse 13. No, 14.
Come on. Verse 14. If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that you should do as I have done to you.
The example is that we need to learn how to serve as we're gaining rank and position and respect and influence, and the lights are off. Okay.
I ain't touched it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh! You didn't touch it?
I just sat down.
Oh man. Okay. Let's continue in class.
Verse 16. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is no greater than his Lord.
And that's the point. The servant is no greater than his Lord, which means the servant has to always be a servant as well. Does that absolve the servant from serving? No. But the lesson, you know what's crazy? The lesson for the Lord is always to show through a serviceable act. Does that make sense? Read that part again.
Verse 16. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is no greater than his Lord.
So if the servant is no greater than his Lord, what's the best way that a Lord can communicate to the servant? What's the best way that a Lord can communicate to the servant if the servant is no worse or greater than the Lord? Example. It's easier and it's best to communicate to the servant through physical example. But what do we want to do? The first thing that we want to do is push-ups, front leading rest, a majum, shemai, yelling, or ignoring. Those are the things brothers do. I'm going to sit back and hem you up. I'm going to bark orders on you. Versus sitting back here and as a servant, as a Lord, let me explain and teach through servantile work. How did Christ teach his servants? Christ taught his servants through a servant's work, a servant's effort, a servant's example.
Which is an action based on the fruit of the Spirit.
Exactly. But listen, let me show you physically what I'm explaining you to do. Let me show you through my actions what I want from you versus just talking down and demoralizing you or getting overly emotional about what you're not doing or being overly critical about what you haven't figured out yet.
Those elements, those are last case scenarios. That's when Paul says, I cannot speak unto you unto spiritual, but as unto carnal. Brothers choose that scripture first.
Yeah.
And skip the spiritual part.
Yeah.
And they go straight carnal.
Mm-hmm.
The scripture says, I cannot speak unto you as spiritual, but as unto carnal. The carnal measures and those overboard militaristic angles, those are last case scenarios.
Thank you.
And that's why I call it Walmart for brothers that know me. You know, the brothers at Walmart, bro, you're going to give them the best service in the world. Welcome to Walmart. Are you going aisle 6? Let me walk you there. You're going there first for 6 months to 8 months to even a year, depending on the spirit you're dealing with.
Okay.
And then when they thoroughly have had an opportunity to adapt and adjust themselves, if you have to push it to that carnal element, they might need it, but the emotion can't be behind it.
Okay.
It's just for the effect and for the understanding. But you can't be emotionally absorbed into what this person's doing.
Okay. What verse you got?
Proverbs 19:11.
Go there real quick. Proverbs 19:11.
Okay.
Is that where it starts?
That's just one verse.
It's 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes.
This is one verse.
It's not 9:30. 8:30.
I'll throw other verses in the conversation. It's Proverbs 19:11. The reason we're going here is, to even be able to get into that state of mind, to look a offensive man in the face, and be able to give and invest, and not take them personal.
That's page 472 in the Black Book.
Not treat them any differently. It's a reflection on a man's application of wisdom, or his practical wisdom. Read that real quick.
Come. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 11 reads,
Okay.
The discretion of a man.
The discretion of a man. Discretion is his prudence. All right? It's practical wisdom. It is elevated, or it's measured by what? Read.
Come. The discretion of a man defers his anger.
The discretion of a man defers or prolongs his anger. Meaning, a man that's very mature in the spirit takes a long time to get frustrated with his servants.
Yep.
Before reacting, he will find different opportunities to get the most out of that particular brother, that particular sister. This is why when you read in Ecclesiastes 20, it talks about how a man, it says a wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity. Because there's some times where blasting, igniting the flames on the coal, lighting somebody up, is not the best time for Christ.
And also, is yelling and screaming going to get the most out of this, brother?
No.
Is it going to get the most out of your relationship with this brother or sister?
Or it's going to educate the brother. Because the goal is education.
It's two things. It's to educate and to exhort.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's to educate and to inspire. It's an exhortation is inspiring.
Yeah.
Listen, our job is to educate, teach, and then exhort. Because you know what the crazy thing? Sometimes you know what to do, and sometimes the person might not feel like doing it. Right?
Huh?
We deal with that every damn day.
Yeah.
There's a 3-store today. Listen, there's a 3-store in the load and on the unload.
Yeah.
We got to exhort. Am I right or wrong? This is exhortation. You can sit back and yell all day long. All the yelling is going to make the outside be like 15 degrees hotter out. If it's 85 degrees outside, it's going to feel like 100 out with a bunch of yelling and screaming out. You ever see those days where like the pavement is like, you can see it's like sizzling out to your forehead out?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock and in Texas, it gets worse. It gets hotter until like 5 or 6. I don't know if y'all know that. It gets horrible at 5 o'clock.
Intensifies.
Like, what's going on here? So that's when you got to exhort people and get people to be inspired to do more than what they normally would be.
Refocus.
But what do you have to do? You have to have the discretion, and that discretion is based off your understanding of the scriptures, the time you've taken to study and understand the men you work with, to figure out to get the most out of the body around you. And that means you as a leader have to be the most selfless, the greatest servant of the bunch. That's what the discretion always ends up doing. Because you know what the crazy thing is? If the general, if the high captain is doing the most work, normally the people around you will find it in themselves to give more than what they normally will.
Yeah.
I don't got to sit back here and argue and scream and yell. That brings the whole spirit of the whole body down.
Yeah.
If a person don't feel like fighting, okay, you know, I've seen it 1,000 times. Don't fight. I'm not going to argue with you. But when things start going crazy in your life, you'll know why also.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Well, listen, you got more on that verse?
Yeah, I just wanted, because what it's showing is you can't think clearly and be a proper leader with a hot mind. If I always got wrath and frustration in my mind, if I'm easily offended, then it's hard for me to even get the best out of the people under me.
Because I'm too focused on how this person has disrespected me.
Exactly.
And I'm not conscious of what's going on inside this man to get the most out of him.
Or
This is why mentally you have to be the greatest servant. Why do men get mad and they're snapping? Because I'm so consumed with how this person's conduct makes me feel.
Exactly.
I'm not looking at how this person's conduct is affecting Christ. This is why, as leaders, you can't inject how people make you feel in judgment.
Okay.
You can't inject how this person and how that person, how they talk and how they respond pisses me off. Who the hell are you? How about how you talk and how you respond pisses the Most High in Christ off? Do you consider those things? You think Christ likes your shitty attitude? You think he likes it? So why do you have the right to sit back here and judge what type of attitude a person has and if you like it or not? I thought you were supposed to be a servant, like the servants are. You got more?
Finish that?
Come. Verse 11. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory.
It is his glory, not his shame. It is his glory to do what?
To pass over a transgression.
Just to move on from a transgression, to look past the transgression.
Which
Not to
His
take
glory
the
in
transgression.
Christ is the Passover, the transgression. Because the transgression, who does the transgression affect? The transgression
That's
affects you,
Yeah.
the Lord. And it's a glory for if a person says and does things that affects me, that I don't take it personal.
That's the point. Because the transgression is, because some would read this and think, then let everybody off the hook.
No.
We're not saying let men off the hook. What we are saying is that this guy's a baby. This person's young. This person don't know no better.
So can I sit back here and give a person scriptures? Can I re-teach? Can I re-educate? But it's very hard to pull scriptures when you're angry. It's very hard to pull scriptures and talk the Bible when you vexed me. Then the stuttering comes in.
Yeah.
Then the stuttering comes in. Then all the thoughts are kind of blocked.
Antics start kicking up.
Then you're loud and you're yelling. Then you pull a couple verses, but it ain't in the right sequence. It's all choppy because you're angry, man.
Yeah.
What he's letting you know is the Lord has to have enough composure and patience in himself to dismiss the antics and still make it about the lesson. Dismiss how it makes you feel. That's the point.
Yeah.
The message has to be taught. The counsel has to come out. The lesson has to be explained. But what has to get discharged is the feelings, how you feel about the situation. And this is what Christ was able to do successfully in washing Judas's feet. He was able to remove how he felt about Judas for the sake of the example. This is the lesson that we have to learn. Can you get past how a person makes you feel for the sake of the lesson? For the sake of the example? That's what and that's where the glory is. The glory is in not letting the feelings get in the way of the teaching. The feelings get in the way of your example. You get on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was Proverbs 29:11, right?
That was 1911.
19:11. Bro, I gotta put that in. Let's go back to St. John.
St. John chapter 13 and verse 16. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is no greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him.
Mm-hmm.
If ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them.
If you know these things, happy are ye that do them. What verse are we at?
That was 17.
We're going to let that verse go. Now go to Matthew 23 and 11. Read that, sir.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 11. But he that is greatest amongst you shall be your servant.
The greatest is the greatest servant. The greatest man, the greatest sister is the greatest servant. But how can an individual be a great servant? It can't be about how you feel. The greatest servant, the greatest leader, has to be able to detach what's going on in his or her life and make it about the lesson. It can never be about how you make me feel. What you've said make me feel a certain way. It's got to be about the message and the lesson and the example. And that's what we should be learning how to do as we grow in rank, as we're passing tests, as we're evolving in the work. Does that make sense? That's how you serve your people. What people don't understand is the greatest leaders have the capacity to do their job, operate it properly, and then have the mind, enough mind not to... Listen, what kills Israel is that we ruminate on our problems so long, we don't have enough time for other people's problems.
That's the real answer. Because
that's what kills Israel. We're so focused and we're hyper-focused on what we're going through and how difficult our life is. And
what I'm not getting...
our lust that we haven't fed or nurtured. Most of our mind, the reason we can't study, the reason we can't retain information, the reason we can't grow is I'm hyper-focused on what I'm losing in my life. But the greatest servants have gotten past what they have or haven't gotten in this life. And they can give more of their time to studying and give more of their time to what brothers and sisters in the body need. Because that's where your mind should be 85% of the time.
Service.
No. 85% of the time, our mind should be on what the body needs. That's what the goal is. The greatest amongst you can give more of his mind to what the body needs. The ones who are the lowest can't get past their own damn flaws and problems and lust. If I'm a sister, I got to be able to get past what my life is. So I can hyper-focus on what my husband needs and then focus on what sisters need. Sisters have problems being elder sisters because they're too caught up in their lives. Sisters, brothers, the same, the whole nine. If we learn how to make it about less about us and way more about what the body needs, we can be of greater service to the body. Does that make sense? Okay. Let that verse go. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19 through 23.
807.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 23. And this I do for the gospel. 19. 19.
Come on. So
1 Corinthians 9, verse 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19. For though I be free from all men.
listen, for though I'm not about man pleasing, and I'm free in Christ to do what Christ wants me to do. I'm free of all men. Don't forget, where was Paul? Paul was subject to the men and the traditions of who? The Pharisees. He said, I'm free of all that now. I'm free from serving the Pharisees, serving the Pharisaic culture, serving the Pharisaic movement,
And being ritualistic and overboard and technical.
and caught up into all these traditions.
Yeah.
I am free from that. But when I once was a servant of the Pharisaic culture and these traditions of men, now I've switched from serving that to doing what? Read on.
For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all.
That energy can go from the energy of being ritualistic and technical according to the Pharisaic order.
Mm-hmm.
Now my mind can be consumed with the needs of the people.
And most of the time, the needs of the people, it says, yet have I made myself servant unto all that I might gain the more. I don't know if you've realized this, but we can have the greatest classes all damn day long. But you know what? Until people see you be the same spiritual person every day, they're not going to listen to these words.
Yep.
You can sit back here and rehearse, teach, drop all kind of great information. You can sit back here and have vests and patches and ranks and all that other stuff. But you know what? If your works don't match your words, people don't respect it. So what he's saying is, Paul made himself a servant unto all that he might gain the more. The way you gain brothers, the way you gain your people, is you being that same loving example every single day. Can you be there for your people every single day and serve them? But what are you serving? You're serving them by doing what? Does anybody know how you serve the young men? How you serve the young sisters?
By having being the same example every single day, not taking the person out, being just consistent.
It's being what they need spiritually.
What their deficiency is.
What's their deficiency today? Sometimes a brother's not motivated. So if a brother's not motivated, am I just going to get angry and tune them out and play music and blow them off? I got to figure out where to engage him. If I'm angry that a brother made a foolish decision and wasn't responsible, then am I going to show the brother how to be responsible? Am I going to say, I'm never going to give you my money again? You ain't going to see my money. I'll take a picture of it for you, but I ain't giving it to you.
You're never driving again.
You'll never drive
Banished.
again. You're done.
Buddhist man.
Negatory. Negatory. Is that how we're supposed to be? Or do I have to learn and study brothers to figure out what is the best way to get the most out of this brother or our sisters? How can I sit back here and get the most out of this sister?
Which we call digging, peeling the onion.
But does that mean me saying, oh yeah, I don't think you giving enough? You operating wicked, sis. You ain't trying. Is that how you get the most out of sisters? No. Just because we think we're keeping something real don't mean that's the right way to do things.
The proper approach is to go get more detail, go to the drawing board, and start to find the answer for them. And find how can you better help manage that spirit. And then get them to see the answer and process it.
Through your actions.
Yeah.
Not coercing. Not sitting back here and shaming people. Put the work in. And truly learn a person in a non-biased form. That's how you motivate people.
Makes me think of being hospitable. Hospitable, a lot of people, or a lot of us think that you could only be hospitable in a controlled setting like at a house. You could be hospitable too in the workspace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could be that crutch sometimes. You can help that brother or sister and assist them along the way
Yeah.
until they can do it on their own.
I'm gonna say this, and then build up enough of a relationship with a person to understand why people do crazy things.
That's the main point.
Because
A lot of
half the
times
time
we're
you don't
angry.
understand why people do the things that they do.
That's about 80% of the anger.
Con.
80% of the anger is, I don't get what the hell you're doing.
So I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm quoting a lot of movie genres here, but the truth is, these are all facts.
Yeah.
When I don't understand why you do something, I'm gonna take it as you're being offensive to
I'm
me,
offended because I
and
don't
you're
understand.
disrespecting me. But you know, we're surface thinkers.
Yep.
So a carnal surface thinker, their response is to be angry.
Because you're going to make me do more work.
Yep. And you're making a difficult job 10 times difficult. But you know what? How do you deal with that? I have to have better maintenance of myself.
Huh?
If you're going to deal with sick people, you got to have a better maintenance of your spirit in order to be a leader. Does that make sense? You kids, hard to sit back here and tolerate brothers that are sick if you ain't said it for 3 days in a row. How about that? You're not studying, but I'm snapping. Oh, this brother's out the spirit. He's out the spirit. Well, damn. He's always out the spirit.
Hey, how about
that? So what about you?
9 out of 10.
No, I'm just angry
Yeah.
because I can't handle your out of the spiritness because I'm out the spirit too.
We're both out the spirit.
Now we're all going crazy in this truck.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting back here a 60-mile-an-hour. Now we going 75 by bouncing all these crazy ass potholes. Everybody's angry. Listen, then it's tense as hell. Then the people that see you tense.
The couple's like,
I mean, brothers been seeing brothers arguing. Why are brothers arguing at their damn job? What the hell's going on? Ain't nobody studying.
Folly.
The young dude ain't studying, and the older brother ain't studying. You got to study and be in the book. So I don't have to be wrestling my demons and wrestling theirs too. When there's all that testosterone and machismo, you know what that means in layman's terms?
Hey,
no Bible.
yeah.
No Bible mo.
You have 5 minutes of Bible in your spirit.
Exactly. That's not enough. And you got to study for yourself. Brothers want to make class the fix. It's cool, but you got to go home and bring it to you if you want to sit back here and clear your thoughts. That's what it takes to be a servant. Can I study and build my spirit up so I can have the tolerance to work with the men around me?
No.
Nah.
Good class, boy. Yes, it's no, though. Unless I need something.
This class might work for.
If I need something, I have to do it. I don't want to do it if I got to do it. If I got to do it, I'll do it.
But this is what people don't understand when we get this rank.
Uh-huh.
This is why you have to study. How about this? When you're studying, you got to study for knowledge, and you got to study for the maintenance of your spirit.
Both.
How about them apples? But I studied color. Hey, man, that's great.
Christ is black. We know.
We do know that. But we got to study that, and we got to study so that you can sit back here and be strong enough to do your job tomorrow, and be patient and loving enough to do your job. Who wants to do that?
See that?
And that's the problem. That's the problem. Nah,
Double duty, and I get nothing back.
brother, and that's the issue. And then what brothers do, they'll just study just for their spirit and not to teach.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
I had to survive. Huh? I understand.
Bro.
But their topics will come.
The show must come on too. These classes are running
The lights
every
will pop up.
other day. There is a Bible class. Cars have to be written, studied, put on paper, and taught. This is the game.
I maintain my soul. Huh?
Okay. Like I said, do we understand the point?
Come on.
So far, so good, right?
Can I put one scripture?
Hell yeah.
Ephesians 4 and 31, 32 and 2. And 3 for Elijah.
Nah. Hey, you know you really original that, right?
I know.
You really
I
original
was-
that. You thought like 3 and 1
It's
go.
me. I did that.
It was Ephesians 4. It was 4, right?
Chapter 4.
Okay. Verse
31,
31,
32.
31, 32,
38, 25.
3 and 4.
And 2 and 3.
Okay.
Ephesians chapter 4,
In
verse
that order.
31.
3 and 4, then 2 and 3?
Yeah, chapter 4, 31, 32, 2 and 3.
Okay. Two.
Same chapter.
Yeah.
It just flows better like that for the subject.
Good.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31.
And I'm so glad a war produced this class
Okay.
because this is something that we deal with a lot. And every man in this room, I guess a woman too, gets challenged with this situation.
Okay.
Read 31.
John, verse 31. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor.
Clamor is loud, incessant debating. Clamor is loud, incessant debating where there is no spiritual peace and there's discomfort and everything's crunchy. Where you could cut tension through a knife. And
Yeah.
there's this dissension amongst people. That's the clamor. So bitterness is, I'm tired because I know tomorrow we're going to be the same way. If
From the
not.
same issue.
I know what to expect tomorrow. And after a while, you get bitter. So
Yeah.
let all bitterness, let all what?
Let all bitterness and wrath
Wrath
and
is
anger.
wrath is anger intensified over a long period of time to where you think it's justifiable. I am justified to be this incensed and angry. I'm justified now.
Yeah, that's a
I am justified.
we see
That's the
we
spirit
see
we roll
that
with.
with so many young officers.
Huh?
It's always angry, and it's always the spirit. I gotta prove I'm over this person. It's always that.
How dare you challenge me?
Yes.
Like what is this?
It's always this battle for street cred. It's a battle for street cred.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
It's about respect,
It-
leverage.
that's what I'm
who's
saying.
the boss?
That is how you know you're dealing with young men.
Yeah. I remember going to the cart years ago, and it's like, you at the cart, you got to work with somebody for 24 hours. And it's almost a fist fight at the cart. Like, why are you about to throw hands at a perfume cart? Y'all selling perfume, right? Why do hands you got to almost go to hands, fisticuffs and hands out?
Oh yeah.
And you're just selling Dolce & Gabbana out? What the hell are y'all selling?
Brothers throwing hands
What's in
in
this
the midst of
cologne?
selling.
What's in this? But it's men are bringing bitterness,
Yep.
wrath, and grudges to work. You
Yeah.
know?
And anger and clamor and evil speaking.
Evil speaking is that people talk under their breath and double talking and saying little sly comments and using, what's the word for it? Murmuring, but there's another word for it. There's another word for it.
Backbiting.
Not backbiting. We always say it. Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Using sarcasm. Sarcasm, backbiting, and talking under the tongue and murmuring.
And if I'm the ranking man, why do I got to go railing for railing with an immature spirit?
Yeah.
Why has it got to be two to tangos?
Yeah.
I thought you were the ranking man.
I'm being reduced by his ill behavior.
Yeah. Well, no. You're still behaving you.
Yeah. But I'm saying you're allowing this person to bait you into weakness.
Exactly. Because the weakness is still in you.
Huh.
That's the point. If we're supposed to be ranking individuals, why am I letting another person's sickness bring me down?
A young man.
Because the reality is there's just a lot of young in you. And this is the challenge when you're having young officers from like 50 to like 1,000. They're figuring out who they are in Christ,
Yeah.
and they're learning to accept what servitude really. Because if I really accept that I'm a servant, then I'm not going to get affected by another person's weakness and immaturity. Part of my servitude is learning how to deal with the simple mindedness of others.
The folly of others.
I say simple mindedness.
Yeah, right.
It is folly too. Hey, pick your words. Tomato, tomato.
No, simple mindedness makes more sense because they don't see the scripture.
Con-
So they can't get past
How they feel.
You made me feel small,
Yeah.
or you told me what to do, or I can't do what I want to do at the moment
Con-
because you said no.
Con.
But for the betterment of the camp.
Con.
Can you keep reading? Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, and clamor with evil speaking, which is sarcasm. Read.
God, in the middle of 31. Be put away from you with all malice.
With all what?
Malice.
Malice is extreme enmity of heart, malevolent disposition to injure others without cause. The spirit of revenge.
Yep.
I got to get back for what you did yesterday or what you said.
I don't like how you made me feel.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know it. I'm gonna let you know. You're not gonna press on me. I'm gonna press on you. But still, but we're on the spirit of revenge still.
Yeah.
Read on.
Verse 32.
This is the contrast. Read.
And be ye kind one to another.
So if I'm studying, I can maintain kindness.
Mm-hmm.
If my kindness is broken, I'm bitter.
But what is kindness in this situation really saying? Kindness just means I am detached emotionally from your foolishness.
That's a great word to say.
Because that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Can I give you a Bible answer for your tomfoolery?
Yeah.
Can I give you a Bible answer for your stupidity? Versus me injecting my emotional opinion in the midst of the situation. This is how you know men are operating like captains. When they can detach emotion from counsels. When they can detach how another person makes them feel from counsel. Because I'm going to tell you this, it ain't going to be easy to get from 1,000 to the next rank. It is not going to be easy. Because if you can't control yourself emotionally around youth, you're wasting your time. Work on that.
You're still youth.
Because that's what being a servant is. Listen, if I am a servant in general, can I show my emotions to my master? You better do your job and get to work. And whatever you feel doesn't matter. He's saying that the lords have to operate like servants. That means the lords have to detach emotions for the good of the job.
All that matters is the job.
The only thing that matters is the work that Christ got us out here doing.
Yeah.
How you feel, how angry you are, don't matter. If a person is out of order, then they're out of order. Why am I angry that they're out of order? Why am I angry somebody's out of order?
Because you made me feel some type of way.
He that despiseth not man, but who? And everybody knows it, but do we believe it? Everybody quoted that. Everybody quoted that one. And I said, he that despiseth not man, but who? I'm like, okay, great. But no, half the group don't live it. Anyway, I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
We don't.
I am just passionately explaining the message.
Forgive him, please.
For me, passion. All I'm trying to say is, listen, man, this is what we have to learn.
Yeah.
Can I detach how people make me feel so that a brother or sister can get the message?
It's a big part of your job. It's a part of your job that really can't be.
Listen, people aren't going to follow you if you can't do this. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to respect you as being a man of Christ.
Why don't they respect me?
Because I'm acting as emotional as the students are acting. You can't have two frantic people in a council at the same time. What good's going to come out of it? Nothing. And if I'm really a student or a servant, why am I triggering the student? Because I can't control what's inside of me.
Because I
don't study. Continue with your points.
Read on. 32.
Verse 32. And be ye kind one to another.
Emotionally detached, able to see the good in the person you're talking to. Still able to see the good in the person you're dealing with. Read.
Let me get through a little bit.
Tenderhearted.
Tenderhearted. You know what tenderhearted means? You feel bad for their lack of understanding. That's what tenderhearted really is. I feel bad that you don't understand. So I really can't hate you. Because I really feel, and it's not like I'm better than you, I feel bad for you. I pity you. It's righteous pity. It's I feel bad that you really don't get this shit. So what I gotta do to help you get this? Yeah, I'm not condescending. I feel bad that you don't understand this. Let me continue to help. Read.
Forgiving one another.
And it goes back to forgiving. You either forgive them or you don't. At the end of the day, if you're an officer you can't forgive about, you can't leave. How about that? You want to keep it simple. You can't forgive the men under you, really can't leave. And Ward said back in the day, if you take them personal, you can't leave.
Yeah.
But scripture-wise, taking personal, you can't forgive, it's the same thing. If you can't forgive people around you that you work with every day, you can't leave. This is what it is.
Can I serve you? And then can I serve you knowing you're going to offend me or have offended me?
And
it goes back to St. John 13.
And you're going to do it again the next week. It's going to happen next week.
That's the point.
It's not going to stop happening. And can you be okay if they do?
And can I still serve?
Yeah.
Can I still serve you, do my job, knowing you're going to offend me?
Because they're less biblically sounding.
And listen, the strong must do what?
Bear the infirmities of great scripture.
Listen, the strong. That's part of the class. We're just going to change it up today. We're not going to stick to whatever the heck was written. We're just going to just throw things in there. But that's okay. That's what happens sometimes in Bible class. Go to your verse. We're going to do it.
Jonah.
No. Are you finished?
I don't hurry up and finish the scripture.
No. He's not done yet.
With. I'm upset. How dare you? This is why I'm tired of brothers. This is what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, little things like this prick them, and then the next day it gets more intense.
There's more poutiness.
It's more I'm more disturbed.
Yeah.
But it starts small. Read.
So where are we at? We're at Ephesians what?
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 30.
Just read through. We can get through it.
God, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as the Most High, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you.
Don't forget the scripture says, forgive thy brother. What? 70 times 7. I have to forgive a person a complete amount of times. What's 70 times 7? Doesn't even matter.
49.
4,900. Come on, man. It's not even, that's not the point. 490 times. It's not the point. That's not the point. It's a complete amount of times that you have to prepare yourself to forgive.
God.
But we don't come into development with that mindset. Do we? We don't come into developing individual brothers saying, I am in this with this brother or sister for the long run. It doesn't matter how many times this person pisses me off. I'm going to just keep working with this person to try to understand this person, to try to get the most out of this person. This is why the greatest amongst you has to be a servant, because it takes real love and real commitment to prepare yourself to forgive this many times to really develop somebody.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. Because it takes years to develop a brother. Most people don't come into this truth and just figure it out quick and grow. Most people stumble and stumble and stumble and stumble. And when people come in, are you prepared to deal with consistent stumbling?
That's real. That's real.
That's what this is all about.
That's a hard question to ask.
Can you absorb constant stumbling?
Because you're losing, as they stumble, you're losing your life as they stumble. That's
the point.
Let them stumble all day. If I still got my life, I'm cool. You can stumble all you want.
Yeah.
I can do me. But when
I'm going to love you from afar, brother.
But when you're
can't do that.
When you're dependent and your energy and time and spirit goes in this person, and you're still stumbling and you're losing behind the stumbling,
yep.
Now it's a problem.
I don't know if I can still do this. That's the question that you ask yourself. But listen, did Christ say that to you? Man, I don't know if I can keep dealing with this brother and his ups and downs.
That's a tough thing.
You don't want to do that to you.
That's a real question.
Man, I've given him 50 times, man. This is 51. I'm done, man. I don't know if I can keep doing this with this guy.
Yeah.
You want the Lord to keep giving you chances, right? He's trying to show us we got to keep giving the next person chances if we want to please the Heavenly Father. And this is why the keeping the unity is so difficult. Are you willing every day to go and work with a person's flaws and deficiencies? And it might seem like this person's never going to figure it out. Doesn't matter how long it takes for them to figure out. Did Christ give up on that person? Then you can't give up on that person. You got more in there?
I'm going to finish it up. Verse 2, with all what?
Verse 2. Jumping back to Ephesians 4 and 2.
Yeah.
With all lowliness and
after forgiving, now you got to still be what?
with all lowliness.
I'm not above you. I'm not above going through this. I'm not above being in the
You don't rush it, because that's what lowliness is. You know, lowliness is exuded from, are you above dealing with sick people that you think you've mastered what they haven't mastered?
Yeah.
That's really the issue. I've mastered this, and it's not that damn hard. So now I got to subject myself. I got to show you every 5 minutes how to use the monkey wrench.
Why are you weak?
Damn, it's not that hard to use this monkey wrench, huh? It's not that hard to tie this knot or do whatever the hell you guys got to do in the truck. Why do I got to keep telling it to you? How many ways do I got to show it to you before it sticks?
Well,
This is the app.
Con.
Use the app.
Con. That's real.
There's app arguments on the truck all the time. Am I right or wrong? There's app dilemmas. There's app confusion.
There's app
like what's
council.
going on? App councils, app confusion. This is what's going on,
That's
huh?
a real problem.
This is consistently happening. So lowliness is, am I above teaching it for the 50th time? Am I above redirecting and reteaching and counseling as long as it's necessary?
3 strikes and you're out.
That's the thing. You can't do that. Because let's find something you're not good at.
There you go.
Christ can say the same thing about you. Let's find something you're not good at. Tough guy.
3 strikes and you're out.
And it's 3 strikes and you're out. You don't want that for you. And how the Most High breaks our pride by putting us around people that need the extra additional time. This is another form of how the Most High humbles us.
That's what we don't get. I love the point you brought to
The
that.
Most High humbles us through having people around you that need you to be patient. How is you going to learn that you got pride in you? How are you going to know you got pride in you unless you have a needy person around you that brings out the fact you have no patience?
That's real.
Most High is perfect when he brings wives together with their husbands, brothers on the truck at the brother's house. He is perfect in how he matches people, souls. Because
for years it's been this way.
there's when the Most High has brotherhood or wives and husbands, there's help mixed with exposing pride and impatience in you. It's all things wrapped into one.
He adapts and puts you in the scenario / situation / condition that you need, that exposes your number 1 or number 2, 3 character.
How many brothers we got on the moving company that when you're in the car, you're like scared for your life with drivers act? What the hell's going on here, Act? Am I right or wrong, Act?
Question.
Listen, the brothers like they're driving and they're like, what's going on here, Act?
How come you can drive?
Brothers are always missing exits. Like, damn, is an exit demon? San Antonio is not very weird highways.
Exit's coming. Exit's coming. Why are we past the
There's
exit?
the computer saying, exit now, exit now, exit's coming. Exit 543, they say you the numbers too. It's coming.
Salakia, Ak. It's like 3 Salakias today.
So you better create a damn system to neutralize this truck issue. I'm just bringing for our school, our camp, real life, like Seinfeld moments out.
Yeah.
That the Most High got us going through to teach us lowliness and humility.
Beer. It was right there, right? I had dinner set up for my right rib, and I can't go home now on time. And it's going to be an argument at the house. Salakia.
What am I trying to explain? That the Most High brings brothers and sisters around us to expose our pride.
Yeah.
And we have to learn lowliness. We have to learn that it doesn't matter what brother or situation Most High has us interconnected to. We can't be above counseling, teaching, redirecting, re-educating.
And this is about inconvenience.
That's
Get out the way. Your job is to be inconvenient.
We talk about Israelite and we go into like Ezekiel 37 about this exceedingly great army that's coming up out. Listen, bro, that sounds great. The army of the Most High
with gold girdles.
Listen, I'm going to say this. The army needs a lot of work. The army needs a lot of work. How much time does it take to get brothers to follow instruction? This is a ragtag army, I tell you that much. This is like F Troop. This is a ragtag army of Israelites.
The best of the world.
But with a bad news, listen, I don't want to go that hardcore. So his brothers already got issue with us about how we
too much.
No, but listen. We have a lot to be desired. How about that? We have a lot of work, and the Most High is giving us men and women who have great potential.
There are projects.
But it's not going to come out until the teacher puts the work in. I've seen brothers for years get angry at their ribs because they don't produce and they don't do this. Their lack of production is a reflection of your poor leadership.
That's facts.
If we have young men,
Y'all said it again.
They
Y'all
don't-
said it 2 times because you said that.
I will push
We had
the
a button.
button.
We press it. Press it, Elijah.
No, I'm not gonna press
I'm
it.
just-
There's a button that gives like a DJ like rewind thing. That's what he's saying.
I don't know how to operate that. I would if I could. I don't know.
Listen,
If you got it, press the
here it
button.
goes. Is this it? That's what it is. That's the DJ air horn.
Listen, if it's your rib, if it's
I never did that online. I don't know what's going on in my head.
if it's your rib, if it's your student, whoever's depending on you, if you're responsible to say that it's on me and what I have to do to adjust myself, make sure they're better and they produce, that's a healthy mentality for a show.
That's what neutralized me. I used to get angry when I was a young officer too. I used to get mad. I could say brothers were like, it was like
You got no faith.
Well, no. I said some mean things. I said Israel is like a damn. It's like we're damn hydras. Like we need 6 men to do one damn job. Like what's going on here? Why it take so many Israelites to do one thing? To put together a damn light bulb. Why it take so many people? Why can't they just do their job? And then I had to realize, listen, bro, their effectiveness is really based on your ability to teach. How good they are is based upon your counseling ability, your patience, your mercy.
Your problem solving.
You can get mad at brothers not locking in. They're a reflection of you. You can get mad at your aunt for being all out of the spirit and I can't get. She don't lock in. She like Jezebel. Like no,
I'm
no.
every Jezebel.
Yeah, everybody wants to pull the Jezebel card, but when in reality, I'm trying to find a not good teacher in history. The Bible. We're not good teachers. We're not good motivators.
Samson.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, Samson was like Debo. Like Dan like Debo. Listen,
Now she gonna cut my hair.
Yeah.
She tripped.
God, most of us want to complain about what the sisters don't do or what the brothers don't do or this young man is off or this young man is off. They are a reflection of your lack of patience, your lack of mercy, your lack of teaching skills, your lack of an ability to, you know what I learned about different students? Different students learn differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are auditory learners.
Mm-hmm.
Some people learn from writing on paper.
Yeah.
A lot of people learn from you seeing you do it multiple times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to really understand how a person's wired so you can say the right words that inspire them. You can sit back here and teach in class. You can say all these little fancy, awesome words you want, and that they don't hit that person. So your teaching ability is being exposed when you can't motivate young people. And that's the best way a person can sit back and self-internalize and work on fixing things inside of themselves when they're dealing with difficult cases of relationships and students they're working with. How hard did you work? How many people did you counsel about how to reach this person? Do I have a working relationship? Can I sit back here and have a conversation with a brother off the job? Listen, if I don't have a basic relationship with a brother off the job, how do I expect to have a working relationship with a brother on the job? But that's the problem. It don't happen. I just want to bring that lowliness part of it.
No, lowliness.
I didn't want you to rush that.
It was. I'm. Thank you so much. It was awesome. With all lowliness, this person's gonna bring you low. How about that?
Because you have to be low to really win this person.
Brother, listen. The high horse we rolling out, the Israelite high horse, feels awesome when you're like in your power. It feels so good. It only lasts for a day.
The funny thing is this: sometimes when you just know how to do something, you realize how hard it is to get a person to see what you see.
And to love what you
That's
love.
how hard teaching is. Teaching is not easy like people think. You might have an answer to a question.
I gave you the breakdown.
That doesn't mean just because you know how to do it means that you can properly convey it to somebody in their way of thinking.
Yep.
You know how many brothers I've come across in the truth that have problems with reading and reading comprehension?
Yeah.
I've met brothers who have what do you call it? What's the word? Dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
I have brothers who don't have a really good command of the English language, are horrible note takers.
Yep.
And we're trying to sit back and go over Revelations, bro. You can forget it.
Well, the second Ezra, third Ezra.
Second Ezra's got all these deep Daniels. 11. Get out of here. You can wait. You can forget it. You can forget it. That's my point.
It's not saying that they don't have the ability to understand part of it.
That's not a knock on anybody.
It's challenging in general. What we're saying is that why am I frustrated? Because they don't absorb it off the first engagement.
And you realize those young brothers who aren't figuring it out, you're just as behind as a teacher as they are in a student.
And that's humbling.
Because I'm going to say this. Listen, if you understand 2 + 2 = 4, then you should be the teacher. I remember Shabba told me that a long time ago. If you really understand something, you can use it. Listen, if I'm trying to teach somebody math, 2 + 2, there's a bunch of different ways you can show that.
Got 4 apples.
You can say 2 apples and 2 apples. And somebody there was this meme on Instagram yesterday, or somebody I was watching, and this mother and father were trying to teach this kid about like apples and oranges and math, and it was from 5 + 3, and the kid kept saying like 10, 15, and the mama got mad and was cussing him out, and the father said, "Listen, man, don't cuss him out. We got to go a different way with him and explain it to him." So he explained it his way, and the kid said 50. He's like, "This nigga," like he was walking on stone. I was like, "Wow, bro! Both of y'all are sitting back here losing your head because you can't just properly teach this kid because he ain't figuring it out."
Well, at one point, I think he gave him the answer.
Yeah, he says it's 8. It's 8. It's 8.
You guys still got it.
50. 45. He was like, "What? There's something is tripping." He's all, "Well, I'm about to kick yo." And that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But we're forgetting that people have blind spots. And that you have blind spots. In this area right now that you're in an area of what they call the wheelhouse.
Yep.
You're in your area of expertise.
Yep.
But you're not in that expertise position in every area of your life.
And that's the...
We can't forget that.
And you don't know how to teach a concept more than 1 or 2 ways.
Yep.
Listen, we have real issues with that. It's not easy to teach the same concept 5 or 6 different ways. And the only way the Spirit even shows these different approaches to you is if you're humble enough to counsel and think and ask questions and be a better servant. Because being a better servant means you're a better what? Listener.
Key point.
You got to be a good listener to even understand how a person operates and thinks, so you can come with better strategies to help. Yes, sir.
I was teaching Alan the word 10, and we must have went over the letter C. Sometimes a child they'll get nervous if they see you acting certain way. They'll get nervous, and they'll get to a point where they may be afraid to make a mistake.
Yep.
Until you find a way. If you don't adjust to it, they'll become hardened and fearful.
Yep.
And it just blocks what they come up.
But you have to adjust emotionally. If you adjust emotionally, you can better serve who you are responsible for serving. You telling me people don't sit back here and can read your disgust when you're trying to teach a person and they ain't listening?
Temperament.
And you try to do this. Your eyes is getting big, eh? You got that crazy Joe look on your lip. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be patient, y'all.
It's 4 apples.
I'm trying to be patient. Huh? You don't think students can feel that ugly vibe out in the room, huh? That feeling of disgust and disappointment? But then I want you to lock in right behind that? That's insane. That's why it's all what being a good servant is about is, can I get past me? The individual that can get past themselves can be better servants of the body.
It's about this person's lesson, this person's course, this person's rate of understanding.
What do they need?
And it's my job to go do all the work to help find the missing puzzle piece. Sometimes, rarely, they'll figure out their own, which is super rare. Super rare. A lot of times, you're watering grass and it might take a month before the water gets to the roots. And can I accept that it might take that 1 month, 1 year, 75 arguments, whatever you want to call it? How many times does it take for this water to get this root to feed this tree, this spirit? That is dealing with the lowliness.
Yeah.
Then read on.
God, Ephesians chapter 4.
Just read on scripture. Lowliness
God,
and meekness.
Lowliness and meekness.
And meekness is the part where they start to react because they're uncomfortable, they're crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
So they start to do personal attacks and deflection tactics to get you to stop teaching.
Yeah.
That's the game people play all the time.
Listen, what is meekness? To endure injury without resentment.
Yeah.
But the problem is we get injured and get resentful. Listen, I know this much. People have defense mechanisms when you're trying to teach them. And when you're trying to help counsel people and give people the medicine that they need, grown men and women roll just like children. When you got that tussin in your hand, and you try to give that baby some tussin, what do them kids do? It's almost like they know it's medicine. And they move their face out the way, and they're crying, and they're tripping, and you got to wait them out until they finally take it. And you got to find out different ways. You can do airplanes. Sometimes the airplane works. A lot of times it don't. It might work the first time. Then they, no, I ain't doing that airplane. I know that trick. Nah, I don't like that. And you sit back and take it out of the spoon, and you put it in the little one where you the syringe. They might take the syringe, then they might spit it out. I've done that. Then you're mad as cuss out. You're mad because they spit this nasty medicine on you. You know it's it's nasty because it's on you. So you got to find different ways to get this medicine into this kid's stomach for their benefit. But because you love them, and you know they got that fever, you do whatever it takes to get that medicine in them. And you're going to give it to them even though they need it and they just don't know what's good for them. But do we have the same love for our brothers? Are we going to sit back and be tireless in the different approaches that we use to give them what they need, to get them to see that they need it? It's not good enough that you know what they need. You got to get them to see that they need it.
In the spiritual realm, not necessarily Jake.
I'm talking about people that are at least trying. I can't give Ned DeWino the wisdom he wants until he's ready to come in and come serve.
Don't use this money for drugs. No, bro.
If they want to come in and get taught, that's different. If they're committing themselves to the work, that's different.
That's different.
And this is what we're explaining in class is the depths you go through for people that are still showing up. Because if they're here, they're trying. They might be rebelling while they're trying, but they're still trying. And because of that, they deserve my utmost attention, humility, and servitude. What you got? I know you got more in your verse. So meekness, lowliness, and meekness.
God, middle of two. With long suffering.
Uh-huh.
Forbearing one another in love.
Key point is forbearing one another in love. Forbear. To be patient. To abstain from. To
And I'm saying, who suffers more?
To
the student or the teacher? Who suffers more, the student or the teacher? The teacher suffers more. The teacher suffers more having to sit back and find ways to motivate a person.
Forbearance. There we go. Restraint of passions.
Huh.
This person is a practice in the restraint of my personal passions, my compulsions, my anger,
my desire to react negatively,
my exhaustion. This person needs you to practice the spirit of forbearance while they're in the process of learning. And that's what we're saying for young captains, young officers, young leaders. It's a forbearance marathon.
Gun.
With men's education process.
Gun.
Until they're ready. Read on, and we're out of here. Read on.
God, verse 3, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
That's how you create the peace. You create the peace by going through all these different spiritual stages and by you exhausting yourself in the fruits of the Spirit and practicing all these elements. And then when you're done with that person, most likely you get a brand new face, with the same problems or different problems, but it can require another level of the same process.
So you can't create peace with a brother until you suffer enough to where they figure it out the lesson. The Lord has to suffer the most in order for there to be peace. We think there's peace when a young student finally disobeys and locks in. Oh, his spirit broke. He finally locked in. People don't lock in until you do more work to get the student to change than them half the time.
Huh?
That's the truth. You ain't going to get the student to see it until you sit back here and eliminate your bad examples. And then you're tireless in painting the picture and the expectation for this student to operate in. That's when you get a better behavior out of the student. That level of dedication is what it takes to create the peace and to get an individual to thrive more.
I was just gonna say on that peace point, part of it is, are we as leaders looking for peace? Are we okay with the gradual increase, the gradual flow of growth, where it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 steps back again? This gradual give and take, this gradual spiritual give and take, and this is the problem that Jonah had. Give me that in Jonah 3 and verse 10, because Jonah was commissioned to go speak to the children of Nineveh and tell them to change.
They were the Assyrians.
Exactly. Speak to his people that were living like nations, living heathenistic.
They were nations. They were nations. They were nations. But keep going.
The book of Jonah, chapter 3, verse 10.
They were nations. Yes, they were. But keep going.
Yeah.
And God saw their works.
So, before this happened, Jonah fled. When he was first told to go teach the children of Nineveh, Jonah said la'ah and went the opposite direction. He didn't want to do it.
Did he go to Tarshish?
He went to Tarshish. He went the complete opposite direction.
Bro, that man went to Spain. I'm going to Spain.
I'm going to Spain. I'm not going to Syria.
Yeah, I'm going to Sandro Payak. I'm
going to the White Beach.
I'm going where Jay goes to party.
That's funny.
Anyway,
he was told to go teach these people. He said no. Most High cursed him and brought him back to the children of Nineveh anyway. So we came there. He taught the people, and they started changing. But we're going to start noticing that wasn't enough for Jonah. Because as a servant, the change in the student is the priority over what you got out of the deal. Over the role you played in the change. But read that in verse 10.
Jonah chapter 3, verse 10. And God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way.
This is supposed to be a joyous occasion. The children of Nineveh are now going to follow God's laws.
and they listened to Jonah's message.
Yes. They listened. They were making adjustments. He taught for 40 days. First of all, it was a long journey. It was a 3-day journey, and he was going at it for 40 days. There was a lot of investment going on here. What we're going to start realizing is Jonah wasn't teaching for them to be saved. Jonah was teaching for them to get corrected.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted, as our people do many times, as leaders do many times, we teach with the idea and the slight hope that they get stung for their negative. They get stung for their wickedness. We're not teaching,
And we sting to make people feel as bad as they made us feel.
as bad as inconvenience as they made us
I
feel.
want to make you feel as bad about what you did like you make me feel bad about what I do. There's a lot of that mixed in there. There is that. You made me. You want to like show me up. I'm gonna make you feel bad. I'm gonna make you feel bad in this house. I'm gonna go at you because you're trying to show me up. I'm gonna sit back and show you up even more. That is a real thing amongst Israel. Let's keep going.
Read on.
And God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way. And the Most High repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them.
So he was going to destroy them. That was the
message. That was the message
that Jonah taught.
That Jonah was given.
Yep.
Go and tell them they're about to die if they don't change.
Yes.
Okay. And you know what's crazy? A lot of us, we drop messages. If you don't change, most likely gonna sting you. And we're used to kind of being in that battle mode of attacking people when we're correcting. A lot of us have that street speaking mindset. And that street speaking mindset, you're going down, you're going down, you're going down.
Make
and you're gonna go down too. As this country's going down, you're going down with it. You're gonna keep every week. We're gonna talk about how you're going down. Keep going. Is it true?
Yep.
Con. Read on.
Chapter 4.
Verse 1.
Chapter 4, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
But it displeased Jonah exceedingly.
Why is Jonah mad that people are listening to the word of the Most High? They're changing.
I should change.
Why is Jonah mad that they're hearing the message and making changes? Because you know why? Israel wants to see blood.
Exactly.
Israel wants to see people cry.
Yeah. Come.
That's the truth. Israel wants people to look, oh man, I'm dejected. They want to see people snotting, crying, dejected. And they want to hear, you were right.
Yes.
You were right. I'm so sorry.
I was so dumb and wicked.
And your wisdom was what I should have followed.
Yes.
And you know what happened? You'll never get that.
Nope.
You think you're going to get your trip?
You know what you're going to get? You're going to get Joe, the halfway teacher, get the credit for the lesson he learned.
All you had to do was endure to the end, brother. And his brother helped me see the light.
Man, the brother gave me so much counsel. And you might have put 50 hours into this guy. Another brother had talked to him for 15 minutes.
Don't you know, brother, God created heaven and earth?
Man, this brother gave me some wisdom. I'm ready to change. I am ready to change. I have experienced that. I have experienced. I was counseling for this day to day act. And then another brother said, "Be warm to feel." Whoa, man! It's the spirit.
It's the feeling,
man. Listen,
it's the warmth.
The most hype. I have the answer now. I understand what the spirit was telling me. I'm like, okay, but that was when I realized you were supposed to get nothing out of counsel for you, because I know what work I put into this brother, and at the time. He didn't even think about what was put into him until somebody else told him that. That's when I realized, I got to teach and counsel because God told me to do so.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm supposed to do as a service of the Heavenly Father. And for me to even be frustrated a little bit shows that I want something out to deal. And that showed the weakness in me, and it showed the immaturity in me. Because we say that we're doing this for the love of the Most High, but if somebody doesn't appreciate what I'm giving, then I'm angry.
Okay.
So then am I really doing it for the Most High, or am I doing this so that you can respect what I'm telling you? And that our intentions will always be put to the test when we begin to start taking that responsibility of teaching. But anyway, I'll take back to your point.
No, we have a Lord complex sometimes.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Because we want to have our imprint on somebody. To confirm that what we're doing is right and that we're in the spirit. But the Most High has a way to remind you it ain't about you. You ever sat back here and you could be counseling your rib all them day long, but all of a sudden she has the epiphany of the spirit when she listens to another brother teach?
He said it so perfect.
I understand what you were saying now, babe. Because this brother said it in class. I'm like, it's jealousy, but it's not just that. It's, you can teach all you want, and you're not going to get the water.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the man. That spirit really, really works with you. You did a good job. You're not going to get that. And he stretches it out the longer you do this to remind you you're just a servant. You're just a body that can be replaced like everybody else. You're not what you think you are. Don't forget it. Be humble. I'm telling you, I've gotten it, and brothers have too. Right? You can sit back here and kill yourself counseling, and you won't be the one that gets the recognition for it.
So if you need this for an ego boost, this is not going to work. If you need an ego boost in this arena is about no ego, bro. It's about losing ego, like ego death. It's an ego death arena.
That's what being a servant is.
Okay. And as a leader, Jonah had to realize he wasn't teaching and correcting for his will. He was teaching and correcting for the Most High's will. But that's when but that epiphany was what displeased him. Because he was like, why am I doing all this work? and I didn't get the result that I was looking for with my teaching and my correcting.
Because you know what? One of the reasons why he didn't get what he wanted, because he didn't believe that those people were good.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
He didn't believe there's good in them.
That's crazy.
You know how many times? But it's not. We do it all the time.
All the time.
You don't believe people when they say they're trying to change.
No.
How many times have you been going at a brother and he ain't feeling you? He ain't listening to your whack counsels. But you listen to another brother and he's listening and he's opening up and he's talking about what's going on with him, and you're sitting back here saying, "This lying ass, blah 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 blah." That ain't really what he's about. He's capping his. He wasn't rolling like that with me 5 hours ago. This dude's full of blankety blankety blank. You telling me you ain't experienced that? And you say that he's lying out of his teeth. And you know what? Jonah's like, man, these damn Assyrians are lying out of their teeth. They're not trying to change. They're not really. It's only been 40 days. They're not serious about repenting. You're going to sit back and take away destruction from them just because they said sorry? They're not serious about commitment. They're not committed. But that's what he's saying. The answer is yes. You're supposed to forgive that brother 70 times 7. Yeah. But if part of being a leader is being able to take a person's word for it. When you're counseling, right? And the person says they're trying to change, hey man, then you're trying to change.
Do you believe?
Why do I gotta inject what I think about your work? Didn't the scripture say, judge not another man's servant?
Yeah.
We do it every day. I don't really think what you're saying is really what you're saying. I really don't believe what you're saying. If you're telling me you're doing the best you can, I don't believe that. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. I don't think you're as sincere about this work as I am. Israel does it all the time. We sit back and have a strong opinion about what we think people are with no leadership, but we lack the capacity to give a person a chance to change. And that's where Jonah's whole head is at. I don't believe you're really serious about repenting like you're saying to the Most High. The Most High is just giving you a break and making it easy for you. Don't brothers sit back here and think that's the case with younger men? How many times brothers think, oh, Warren Davian, we want to give it easy on this dude. He's too light on this cat. That counsel was light. If it was me, I would have took his rank. I would have took his vest. Right? Because I don't think you're as serious about change as you said to him.
His wrist, huh?
Yeah, it was a slap on the wrist. That guy's more negative than that.
He's devious. That's what you would say, but is he what, devious up? He's not devious.
He's playing you a war.
Right now.
He's playing you a war. You're soft on crime, a war. You're soft on crime.
He's hustling.
And I got the receipts.
Sorry,
I got the receipts.
He's fooling you, Ak. Like, bro.
I got the receipts of the crimes, Ak. He has like 5 crimes this week. I know he's off. He ain't serious about serving the Most High.
At 4:30 p.m. today.
Look at how he acted. Look how he was talking to me at 5 o'clock today in the morning. He wasn't humbled in. Now he wants to be humble and say he's trying. He's going to give 110%. My, you know what? This is where Jonah's at.
He's going to prosecute.
That's the point, Ak. That's what Jonah's saying. These guys ain't serious. I sat back here and I'm teaching them for 40 days and I don't believe them. Now you're just going to sit back and get them off the hook like this, Ak? That's where Jonah's coming from, Ak. But this is how young officers and teachers roll.
Immature.
Because there's too much emotion involved in judgment.
Yeah.
You're too emotional. And you don't let a person's actions show it. And if a person ain't figured it out, and if a person's being selfish or a person got negative intentions, whose job is it to determine that? Yours? You better work on your emotions and how you look at people and let the Most High judge the individual.
Most High is real. He'll deal with the person.
Listen, the funny thing is this. If a brother's hustling me, is he really getting away with anything?
No.
You can say what you want, and I can give you 15 chances. Listen, Most High said, if I really want to get you, I'm going to make your pocket full of holes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know when brothers is off. You can tell me whatever you want to. Men lie, women lie, but that car breaking down don't lie.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? Cars breaking down, accidents is happening, resources is getting burnt out.
Identity theft.
I'm running in circles. I can't get nothing accomplished. That's how you know the Spirit's get. I don't got to sit back here and take rank to do that. Most High is going to sit back here and correct the person. Why do I got to inject myself into the equation?
Because I got pride.
Because I have pride.
I'm out the Spirit just as well.
And I want to sit back here and be proved that I'm right and my intuition is right.
Exactly.
But your intuition is wrong. How you look at things is wrong. Just like Jonah's intuition about the Spirit is wrong.
And this is the demon behind the position.
Yeah.
When you believe in your perspective versus being straight-laced with the scriptures. I gotta be, listen, keep the buck with you, you gotta be New Testament. I had to say it. Because Old Testament is structure, consequence to get the nation in order. But when Christ came on the scene, Christ is giving you a more thorough examination of how to rehabilitate your people. We're in the season of rehabilitation right now as a nation. As a nation, we only know we're Israelites for like 30 years, 40 years. 1969, the nation woke up.
Yep.
It's not like it's been hundreds of years we've been, no, I'm a Jew, I'm a Jew, I'm a Jew. We just started reading the Bible and we're like, oh.
Again.
Christ is black. Oh, I'm an Israelite. Oh, Latinos, Native Americans, those are the chosen people. We just started getting, this is new. So the whole nation is getting refreshed. You gotta be an instrument of rehabilitation, which means you gotta go use the New Testament approach. Because you're dealing with the Greeks and the Romans. You're dealing with that era of civilization. We're not in the Syrian Empire right now. Are we in the Egyptian Empire? Are we in the Babylonian Empire? We're in the Greek and Roman Empire. We've been broken down for thousands of years, bro. We've been lost for thousands of years. We have to come out of the Gentile ways and come into the Hebrew ways. That's going to take time. That ancient Jerusalem approach ain't finna work, bro. It didn't work in Jerusalem when Paul was alive.
No, it didn't.
It didn't work in Jerusalem when Paul was there. It didn't work when Christ was there. So we have to. Okay.
Let's keep up.
Read that in verse 1 again.
Jonah chapter 4, verse 1. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. And he prayed unto the Most High and said, I pray thee, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country?
This is what he's saying. He said, I already knew this was going to happen. Why'd you waste my time? Have me go out here, study, invest, give my spirit charge up to tell the people and warn the people.
Risk life and death.
Risk life and death. Inconvenience, shipwrecks in a fish mouth for 3 days. Just to tell the people.
It wasn't like those Pinocchio stories. It wasn't like them stories when it's this damn whale is huge.
Yeah.
You're just sitting back, you can cut a light on, and it's all this open space in the belly. That's not how it was, bro. If you're in a whale's belly act, you're in this digestive tract act. You're getting mushed around, and muscles are pushing out. You're like drowning in like stomach acids, and the little opening of the stomach comes up, and you have a little air. Come on, this is hell. That's hell.
And there's certain fish that have like spikes on their tongue.
Oh.
So those spikes are like digging into your skin. And you're sitting there and there's this little ball out.
Listen, that's hell on earth.
That's not cool.
Then you go out to poop rock and that's it at? You're caught hell, bro.
You're a skeleton.
It wasn't like the cartoons when you just had the fish scales out, this the bones out, the print of the bones out. You're running half digested meat and water. It's the worst thing ever, bro.
And it's not like he said, well, in 3 days I will be spit
You
out.
don't know if you're going to die or not.
God will have mercy in 3 days.
I tell you what he was doing. He was praying.
Huh?
He was praying in that stomach. Prayers, the Alahai were being called on that. That's the facts. So anyway, let's keep going back to the point now.
So now he's trying to reason with the Most High, explain, I already knew you're going to forgive them anyway. I came to do my service, tell them they're going to die. Halfway in hopes they're going to die. Halfway in hopes they're going to see me be punished because I know they're wicked, and you're recorrecting or usurping what you told me in the first place. Now it makes me look like a liar.
Because as teachers or as young officers, we tell ourselves it's about checking somebody.
Exactly.
We tell ourselves it's about checking and tearing down. But we don't realize it's about the development. We don't realize that counseling is about getting somebody to see something and inspiring change more than outing somebody and making somebody feel low. Because that's what we think correction is. I'm supposed to correct and check and destroy, and correct and check and destroy. What did Jeremiah 1 talk about? I'm going to go there real quick. I'm going to read this real quick, and we're going to go back to this point. A lot of times, we're not conscious of how the Most High looks at development in general. This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 10, and really verse 10. I'm going to read that. No, somebody read it for me.
I got it. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, to pull down, to destroy.
You're all supposed to destroy negative opinion, negative habits, negative outlook. Read on.
And to throw down, to build, and to plant.
But the ultimate goal is to build and plant. The ultimate goal is to get somebody to get rehabilitated. That's what the ultimate goal is. Not to just tear down and destroy and tear down and destroy, but to inspire to do better. And this is not what Jonah's thinking. Jonah's like, you came here, you told me to come here to send, not send destruction, but to
warn for the destruction.
Warn that the destruction is coming. With the intention that the destruction is coming.
Exactly.
Well, let's keep going back to Jonah. I just want to bring that part out in Jeremiah. But keep reading.
Which goes back into not having that emotional element when we're disseminating information. We have to detach.
And I'm going to say another thing. I'm not going to go to the verse. But remember the disciples, when they were just learning Christ?
Oh, Elijah.
They were talking about Christ. Listen, man, you gonna give me power like Elijah to send fire down from heaven and kill the Baal prophets? Remember that?
Yeah, Samaritans.
Because our intention when we get this knowledge is to get the information to cut people and to tear down people and to eradicate wickedness and just destroy. But that's not what this was about. It wasn't about tearing down and destroying. It was about building up and teaching and healing. But when you're a young officer, you want to cut, tear down, explain to people are weak and they're not good enough, and shame people. That's what we think teaching is about. But keep going to your point.
Come on. Read on.
Jonah chapter 4, verse 2. And he prayed unto the Most High and said, I pray thee, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish, for I knew that thou art a gracious power and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil.
He said, I already knew you were going to forgive him anyway. So I was already going to go on to my vacation time. Because there was no point in me being here if you weren't going to execute that fire that you said you were going to do. So what am I doing now? Now that I didn't get the emotional gratification from my correction. What do men normally do? Read on.
Stop giving.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I didn't read. I'm doing something else, but I'm assuming that's the answer. Keep going.
Read.
Therefore now, O Lord, take, I beseech thee, my life from me.
Men detach. They attach emotionally, and they attach their minds away from the men. They're supposed to be over. If I can't rule them how I want to rule them, if I can't lead men how I want to lead them, then I'm just going to detach. And I'm going to start going through the motions. And pout. Pretty much pouting. Because when I want to correct, I want to correct the way I want to correct. When I want to forgive, I'll forgive when I want to forgive. This is when we play the God complex again. Because the only one who has authority to do that is the Most High. The Most High is saying, I gave them mercy. Why are you not accepting my mercy? Because I didn't want them to have mercy. Because they weren't good enough to have mercy.
You're not in order with your head, bro.
And that's
what are you doing?
That's the point. That's the point. Exactly. Read on.
For it's better for me to die than to live.
It's better for me to not be here anymore. This one you get phone calls, but this is pulling me away from the truth.
Oh, brother,
I don't even want to be in the truth right now.
Young man's taking out the truth,
brother. Bro, these are real conversations. It's like why is this one situation where you didn't get what you wanted? This one correction where you didn't get the emotional satisfaction that you wanted is now making you have quit thoughts.
Brother,
this is a real demon. There's Jonah demons out here.
Israel wants blood
They want blood out.
Israel wants to see people broken and ashamed.
Yes.
That's what they want to see out.
But they want forgiveness.
Yes.
Of course.
That's them.
They don't want to build people up and bring out the best of them. They want to tear down, and embarrass people. That's what Israel wants.
But when it's their weakness, where's the mercy?
Yep.
One-way guy.
Yep.
Huh?
There's a verse in there, Luke 12, that goes into that. We're going to go into that later, but yeah.
Read on. Read on.
Verse 4. Then said the Most High, doest thou well to be angry?
This is the question. Can you do good when you're angry? Can you do good for your people when you're angry as a leader? If you're motivated by anger, by wrath, can you do well? The answer is no. Read on. So now Jonah's pouting. Read.
So Jonah went out of the city and sat on the east side of the city.
On the stoop, like this.
On the bench, Act.
Yeah, exactly. Away from everybody.
But
At the park.
But he's also doing it because he's trying to show the Most High his judgment was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit away. I'm just going to watch the progression of these wicked people that you think deserve.
They're going to let you down.
They're going to let you. I promise you they will. I know them. I know them better than you know them, Lord.
Listen, you sat back here and checked me over a negative thought, and you're letting these guys do whatever the hell they want. That's not fair. Isn't that how we look at things? If I was rebellious, I'd get punished. Why are you making it so easy on them? Isn't that how young men think? Young officers think?
No.
How I had it going up in the truth, I couldn't get away with the stuff you're letting them get away with. Their bias is not fair. What we don't want to realize is that listen, you got dealt with based off the negative that was in you.
Exactly.
And you needed that hardness because you wouldn't have got where you are without that. Maybe another student needs more patience because he can't handle what you were put through. But we don't want to think that way. If we were dealt with harshly, then we think they should be dealt with harshly. But the funny thing is, generations before you were dealt with way harsher than this.
Way really.
Listen, I'll never forget when I heard about tales from New York in the early 90s when men were out of order, or when they spoke out of turn, or they were just somewhat deemed as disrespectful to elders. Men were thrown out of the school, which is on the second floor of a building. They were thrown out and were rolling down the stairs, like it was damn Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When a boy got thrown out of the damn house. What was the dude's name? The DJ Jazz. Like Jazz getting thrown out. Men were getting thrown out of the school and rolling downstairs. I said, I don't think I would have made it through that. I don't think I would have made it through that. I think I probably would have left the school that day if I saw somebody get thrown out of the damn building. I'm being honest. I don't think I would have been okay with that. I think I would have said, nah, this is too much for me. So you know what that means? I had to realize even though I might have went through things that were difficult, it wasn't as bad as somebody else. Our brothers had to sit back and do workouts in 7 feet of snow. No, 5 to 6 feet of snow. They had to do like kicks.
Butterfly kicks?
No, not butterfly. You kick your leg and sit down and kick.
Yeah.
I forgot what those kicks are called.
Side kick extensions?
I don't know.
Is it some karate kicks?
Karate kicks, and you couldn't like mess up No, you couldn't mess up the snow. Your feet had to stay in the snow. You had to kick up and out and bring it back down without messing the snow out.
That's real, bro.
And I was like, that is hardcore. They were doing training and like it had to be like 30 degree, 20 degree weather. And it was ice at least 4 to 5 feet high. You had to kick up, extend out, bring it back down without messing with ice. I'm like, I don't think I could have got through it. Why am I saying that? Every time you want to tell yourself you went through supernatural hell, so the next man needs to go through what you went through. Remember the people before you went through it harder. And if you can remember they went through it harder, you have a lot more compassion on the next generation. The Most High has been easier for every generation getting to this point.
And also, even when you look at the transition or the evolution of the scriptures, you can see how mercy was being applied more and more in the New Testament.
Yeah, we're going to go on that a few weeks in Ezra.
Because during the time of Elijah, it was perfectly acceptable to burn up 400 Belial followers. It was perfectly acceptable just destroy him on the spot. You go to New Testament, Christ's like, no, I'm not here to kill and destroy. I'm here to save. I'm here to enlighten
and build.
So there's even a progression in leadership where it goes from you all fire, all correction, no mercy to now it's about correction. It's about mercy. It's about meekness. And can you apply it in due season? Well, read on. Let's get through this.
Verse 5. So Jonah went out of the city and sat on the east side of the city. And there made him a booth and sat under it in the shadow till he might see what would become of the city.
He was not going to leave this spot because he wanted to see his perspective.
I want to see it fall.
Exactly.
I want to see them make a mistake. And then the Most High turn, destroy it, and say, see, I knew they were right.
This lets you know I was right.
And this is symbolic for how we do men.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the other side of the city, we just won't talk to you for weeks.
Yeah. Go to the side of the truck.
That's what brothers do. I'm just going to avoid you. Yeah. I'm right next to you, but it's like I'm on the other side of town. Because I avoid you, I distance myself from you. Yeah. Because you're going to fall, and I don't want to be associated with you when you fall. You don't listen to me anyway.
Yep.
So let me just pout and cut you off.
Yep.
This is symbolic for how we deal with men every day in the work.
Bro.
We work around them. We give them the representative, and we stop investing.
Key points.
Because we really want them to fall. Because we're really tired of giving to them. So I'm going to play the game like I perceive you're playing the game. Isn't that what brothers do? We do it all the time. I'll play the game like you're playing the game. Okay. But we don't. If you're supposed to be a servant of the sick, then why are you playing the game with anybody? Okay, so let the Most High play the game with you, and let you run your course. And let you just keep working for nothing until you die.
I was used. Well, okay, bro.
I'm gonna say this.
You really used that in Christ?
Like I said, bro. Keep going to the point, man. I'm not trying to take away your point. It's a good point, man.
No, keep reading.
Verse 6. And the Most High Power prepared a gourd.
A gourd is like a large plant. All right? It's a large plant that the Most High prepared or had to grow to be over Jonah. I think squash. Gone. Yeah, read on.
And made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head, to deliver him from his grief.
So obviously, it was not comfortable where he was sitting at. It was supposed to be a shadow or a shade so he can sit and relax and watch what's going on before him.
So what's been really happening?
It was probably very uncomfortable over there. But the symbolism behind this is we're going to see how men will cherish and value insignificant things, Jonah specifically, but still can't see and have pity on their own people. Or will have pity on some things, but not pity on others. That's the greater lesson. Read.
Wait, you got to go back. Listen, can you explain that verse 6 again? Because that's a monster.
Verse 6. And the Most High Power prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head.
So what is the Most High even showing Jonah at this point? Even though you're pouting, I'm going to still give you mercy too.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you mercy like I'm giving these Assyrians mercy. You want to say and act and operate like you're being done wrong, and I got to show you mercy too. What is the Most High showing for us? It doesn't matter if brothers don't respect us, don't appreciate us, or are out of order with us. Are we going to put a gourd over these young, immature men? Because the Most High is looking at Jonah and is like, this guy's a baby in the spirit.
You're rebellious.
You're rebellious. Listen, words have power. I can say you're a rebellious man or you're a child in the spirit.
Yeah.
Which will help me look at you better, to work with you? Child. The power of words and how it helps you frame how you look at a person.
Frame and perspective.
Like Christ, when he's getting crucified and he's having to keep his chest up so he can breathe. What is he saying? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Versus saying, these mother know exactly what they did.
Yeah, it's premeditated.
They planned it, they're laughing, they're mocking.
It's third degree.
They know exactly what there's a mocking spirit here.
They're ungrateful.
They're ungrateful. They know exactly what's going on. It's all about how you choose your words. Okay. They don't understand the magnitude of what they're doing. Yeah. And this other Most High is looking at who? Jonah. You know what? Jonah's pouting. He's immature. Listen, I know he's immature. That's why I gave him this mission. Yeah. Why did he give him the mission in the first place?
To expose
because he was immature and just didn't know didn't understand what this message was about.
He had growth. He had more growth
Con.
required of him. He didn't want to accept that the course he was on required more personal
But
growth.
it was for his development. So he was a spiritually immature guy in the first place, and all Jonah was about was power and respect. And you gotta give me respect because I'm the ranking man and the Most High's with me. You know how many men roll like that? Now,
It's common.
all men focus on is being respected. All men care about is that I have rank, and you gotta respect me because I have rank. All men operate. I'm the man of the house. Give me my extra big piece of chicken. I'm the man. Serve me. Right? Serve me, woman. You better be in order. You better be in order. You ain't locking in. A lot of our people are just about flexing
The
power.
rice better not touch the peas, better not touch.
There was a brother who sat back here years ago. I'm not going to name names because I lived with him for a short time when I was in San Antonio, first coming in. I lived with him, and the sister made me and him a plate after dinner. After work. We got home, and listen, the sister kept the oven on low. There was 2 plates. It was rice, beans, and some meat. Delicious meal. But when the brother poured out the meal for him, he saw 2 beans roll over on the right side. And he went crazy. And it was an all-night council about why the beans fell over to the right side. I'm in the guest room on the side listening to like a 3-hour council at night. And I'm like, dude, I'm a guest in his house. Do I knock on the door and ask if everything's okay? Is that overstepping my bounds? What do I know? I outrank him, but this is his house. What do you do? But my point is, that's overboard.
Okay.
And a lot of people with rank, all of a sudden this rank gets to their head. And now I'm about setting fire and brimstone. I can yell, I can raise my voice. There's been men back in the day sit back here and counsel with a gun in their hand.
Yeah.
Brothers just did it in Israel back in the olden days. And then brothers took it to the next level and would take a gun and put 1 bullet in it and play some deer hunter shit.
It's a Russian roulette.
Remember the deer hunter? 1 bullet, move the revolver to 6-shooter, and I'm sitting back here and tossing and counseling with my gun. There was a brother who did that.
Way out the spirit.
But
You want the power. You want the authority. You want to flex. You want to feel some
You want to be the
sensation
man.
of glory, which really is a sign of smallness, internal smallness.
Weakness.
It's a sign of weakness.
Weakness. Just you're really a small man if you got to roll like that. But the problem is that same element of being a small man is what men who are just be about power and rank are in the camp now. I got to get gratification. You got to serve me. You got to sit back and give me a yes, sir, for me to sit back here and not get pissed off and angry at you. How small are we? We have to grow past that emotionally. If you want to be disrespectful, you're disrespectful to the Most High. Not me. But am I mature enough to detach my emotion from a situation to look at you the way I'm supposed to look at you?
It was never about me in the first place.
It was never about me. My job is to deliver a message. My job is what Ezekiel 33 says my job is. I'm a watchman. Land ho! These boys is coming to fight. Watch out, I'm going to blow a horn. It's wartime. I don't know who these people are. I'm giving you a warning that this could be danger. We're nothing more than watchmen. But then that kind of takes the pride away from it. We're not as cool then.
What's the point of all this authority if I can't flex?
Because it's not authority at all. We're messengers.
Huh.
We deliver a message. And can I be content with that? You want to cuss me out? You are not the first. You are not the last. Maybe like 50th. It's okay. You can cuss me all you want. It ain't going to change your life. Your life's going to still be what it is until you change what's inside of you. People think we're like the blessing police act. We don't control no blessings out. We don't control if the landlord approves you for your apartment or your house. We don't control the truck loan people. We're not going to show nothing. Our job is to let you know what you got to do to get the Most High on your side. Nothing more, nothing less. So this guy, Jonah, he expected more from the Most High for doing his job. You were supposed to warn people and leave it up to them to determine if they're going to change, and then leave it up to the Most High to determine if he's going to reward and listen to their change. But don't forget it. I don't cut you off. Jonah chapter 3 and verse 9.
Jonah chapter 3, verse 9. Who can tell if the Most High will turn and repent?
They didn't know. They said if we change, who knows? The Most High might repent from destroying us if we repent.
Oh.
They just said, let's try and repent, and hopefully the Most High will acknowledge our changing.
Oh.
Read on.
Who can tell if the Most High will turn and repent and turn away from his fierce anger that we perish not?
All our job is to do is to be a good enough example and to be a counselor and a teacher that doesn't have a lot of pride mixed in here to hopefully get a person to see that I need to change.
Purify the message.
To get them, purify the message, be a good example in hopes that a person will consider their actions. Yes, sir.
In verse 10, when it says the Most High saw their works, does that mean he was looking for their good?
Yeah. Most High looks for the good in all of us.
That's in Ecclesiastes 17. It says he looks for the opportunity to wink at our ignorance so we offend less.
God.
He's looking for the chance that we decide to offend less and make less mistakes.
Yes. But that's how we have to look at things. You know what's crazy? That's why I say the captains and young captains are always Captain Obvious. Everybody can tell me how off a person is. Sisters can always say, man, this sister is off. But can I explain how they've improved from month to month? Can I see, am I spiritual enough to see incremental change?
No.
Nope. Wicked, 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 wicked. Everybody's wicked. We don't learn to train ourselves to see people that are actually making small changes. Because we're carnal, condemning people. And we want to sit back here. We have a mob mentality. We want to sit back here and see the worst in people. When Christ and the scriptures are trying to teach us how to see the best in people despite obvious sickness.
And simultaneously, Most High has a gourd over you.
Which is the mercy. Which is your mercy.
God.
And that's what the Most High, he was showing them through simile, through symbolism. I'm going to give you mercy that's undeserved for you. You've already crossed me several times, rebelled several times. And you know better. The crazy thing is you know better. That's important to the story. You know better. You rebel. And I'm going to give you mercy. Read on. Verse 6.
Go back to 6.
4 and 6. The Most High power prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head, to deliver him from his grief. So Jonah was exceeding glad of the gourd.
And Jonah was appreciative of that mercy. He was appreciative. The Most High gave him mercy that wasn't deserved.
Yeah.
He was appreciative of it. Read.
And he's trying to show him maybe you should do the same thing for these people.
Exactly.
That's the example he's trying to show them. But keep going, I'm sorry.
Read.
But the Most High prepared a word when the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered.
He said, now the Most High is cursing this gourd. Because he wants to show Jonah a greater lesson. I'm going to curse your mercy. And I'm going to let you feel what it feels like to not have mercy. And you're not going to like that result. Read on.
And it came to pass when the sun did arise that the Most High prepared a vehement east wind.
Because I want you to learn empathy. I want you to learn how you should be feeling or the meekness you should have when you're corrected, when you're looking and judging the man next to you. You don't have meekness. You don't have empathy. Therefore, I'm going to show you what it's like to not have mercy, to not have my protection. Read.
And the sun beat upon the head of Jonah, that he fainted and wished in himself to die.
That's like 110.
This guy, but you know, this guy is always wishing to die.
I know.
This guy's always got a negative outlook.
He's a faith.
Everything is a glass half empty thing, man.
Yeah. Pessimistic.
He's super pessimistic, guy.
He doesn't like being uncomfortable.
God.
And
He's always angry.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever good enough for him.
Well, when it comes
There's a lot of that going on in Israel town too.
when it comes to God's
There's a
work,
lot of
that.
pessimism in Israel.
Yeah.
Why do I always have this half empty cup?
Yeah.
This is not enough for me to drink and be taken care of. This is not enough. Why, oh, why do I have just enough to get by?
Come
Like, keep going now.
on. Read.
And said, it is better for me to die than to live. And the Most High said to Jonah, doest thou well to be angry for the gourd?
He says, is it good for you to be angry for your lost mercy?
Yep.
Read.
And he said, I do well to be angry, even unto death.
This dude.
He said, without this mercy, there's no point in me being
Yeah,
here.
that's the point, bro.
There's no point in me being here if I don't have this protection. Because now I'm uncomfortable.
There's like, Father, you brought me out here to die.
Exactly. We get into that mindset again.
You brought me out here to die.
Yep. Brought me out here to
Emotional
die.
extremism,
I'm here to
being
serve you.
irrationality, being extremely irrational. This is when you become, you're a captain, but you're irrational. I don't fit.
Listen, the funny thing is, this story is 4 chapters. I don't think there was a lot of good works Jonah did.
No. There's a lot of
I
negative.
think this is a lesson.
Good, man.
Listen,
Chapter 3 was the good he did.
I believe you. I believe you. I'm saying the lesson is about the pessimistic guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jews that can't see the good in the lesson the Most High
Facts.
has got them going through. But how does the Most High, this is a great verse, because the Most High shows you when you pout, you lose more.
Yes.
And
When
it
you
shows,
pout and you're unappreciative, he keeps taking things away from you.
and it shows
The funny thing is, he gave my head trip. I'm going to give you something, just take it away.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you just to take it away, to really mess with your head. Because you don't appreciate anything. Think about that. Why would he give him the gourd in the first place? To mess with his head. And then take it away to see how his outlook was going to be towards the Most High when he took it away. And he, just to form, I'm going to complain again because I can't see the good in anything. I can't ever see me. All I can see is what I'm going through.
for the flaw of the people.
Or the flaw in the people, or what's unfair in my life. Israel is more like Jonah than most people in the Bible.
That's crazy.
That's the
Don't you
craziness.
say that.
Here we go.
I
The
am-
pessimistic Israelite
I
SOT
am
classes.
St. John.
Brother, listen. There's a lot of Jonah and Israel out.
Yes.
A lot of us out.
Yes. There is.
Give me verse 9 again, bro.
Verse 9.
Crazy.
And the
bro.
Most High said to Jonah, doest thou well to be angry for the gourd?
You're angry that I took the gourd away from you?
Yeah.
Why are you angry that I took the gourd away from you? Has your actions showed that you deserve the gourd? Read on.
And he said, I do well to be angry,
Hell yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry till I die. Read on.
even unto death.
This
I
guy
am my
is.
temperament.
Listen, the Most High said, is a verse that says, don't tempt the Lord out.
Yeah.
Sit not the Lord.
Listen, this guy's tempting the Lord out.
Come.
This guy's asking for it out.
He's in the whole time.
Most High's talking to him and he's tripping. Keep going, bro.
Then said the Most High, thou hast had pity on the gourd, for the which thou hast not
He
laid
said,
it.
Yeah.
No, so you didn't even work for this. You didn't work for this, Gore. You feel bad that you don't have it. You didn't work for it. Read.
Neither madest it grow.
Means you didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve it, and you didn't make it grow. Read.
Which came up in a night, and perished in a night.
But as much as you cared about this mercy that you didn't deserve, and that was taken away from you, now I'm going to start showing you when it comes to Nineveh. Read on in verse 11.
And should not I spare Nineveh, that great city, wherein are more than 6,000 persons that cannot discern between their right hand and their left
He said,
hand?
contrary to you, who knows better, who I talk to, and I've given you a commission, and you rebel, you go astray, and I give you mercy. Nineveh can't even discern their right hand to their left hand, meaning what? They're ignorant. They don't even know better. We have a hard time seeing past ignorance or forgiving ignorance. We go into that Pharisee mindset again. It's that superior mindset again. You should already know this. This is simpleton stuff. This is ABCs. Why don't you get what I get? Why don't you have basic, we call it common sense. You don't have common sense. He said, you're right on Nineveh like they should have common sense when common sense isn't as common as you think.
But you don't have common sense based on the knowledge and what I
What you
invested
got?
into you. When I invested in you, you don't have common sense.
Huh?
What was invested in them, they don't have common sense. But you want to judge this person for not having common sense, but you can't see you.
God.
And this is, and we always say this to men. You can sit back here and check this brother's form of rebellion. Well, we say this all the time. You can check this man's form of rebellion, but your rebellion is exactly the same, just with different people.
Different facet, yeah.
Or you're more subtle. This guy's not, this guy's not a good communicator, whereas you're a rebellious person with good communication. You play the communication
you'll
game.
be rebellious to your elders.
Or the silence game.
In your way.
Or the subtlety game.
But they're rebellious to you, and you can't handle it.
God.
The Most High, that's another thing about the rebellion. The Most High shows you your rebellion through young people. And it shows you your hypocrisy through the people you work with.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't want to sit back here and say, damn, maybe is this how I'm treating my elders? Let me sit back and see how I need to be better with my elders if I expect this person to lay off me. I'm telling you that's the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
If you want men to respect you, learn to serve your elders better.
And we're not saying that so we get benefit. What's that? So
We
you
ain't
get the
getting
mercy.
out
I'm saying so you get the mercy. That's what brothers don't get. I'm arguing with brother. I'm begging him. I'm arguing. So listen, it's cool. I can't wait.
I'm trying to help you out.
I tell him, listen, when you're in that position, I said it for like a month straight. So when you're in that position, I don't want to hear it.
We say it all the time, bro.
Then when the brother goes by, I can't believe this. No one respects me. No one respects me.
Respects?
No one respects me. I'm like, bro, I want to tell you. Isn't that you? He wants to argue with me, huh? Isn't that you? I know, but it's different now. Oh, it's different now. It hit different because you got authority. But when you work with authority, you can do what you want to do. Well, now you got to eat your own pie, bro. You got to eat your own pie.
Okay. That pie don't taste good.
Listen, this pie sucks. When men rebel and they flip out with me, I say, this is the Most High give me some stuff on my mind. I probably got away with back in the day.
Yeah.
Let me just eat this crow real quick.
So,
that's how you have to master the ability to empathize with the sick so you don't hate them. Because when you hate them, God hates you.
That's the point.
That's the truth.
And that's what we're trying to show. This is about empathizing. Jonah never said, man, these guys don't even know the Bible. These guys really don't even know the Most High that much. And I'm going to sit back here and judge them like they're just the wickedest people on earth. They haven't been invested into like I've been invested into.
You've been educated.
Listen, Jonah was part of that group that Elisha was teaching in that school of prophets. Remember when you read about it when Elisha was sitting back here and they were telling Elisha, listen, man, we need a bigger building for our students. And he said, listen, get the wood, do what you got to do, and the axe fell in the water.
Yeah.
And he sat back here and got the axe head out because it was a borrowed axe. At that time was when Elisha was sitting back here and building schools of prophets. He came out of that. This guy got developed.
Oh, wow.
Jonah came out of that group because it was a small group of prophets right after Elisha died, which were the minor prophets that kept going out and teaching everywhere.
Wow.
Jonah came from that group. Don't forget, this was before the Assyrian Empire rose up. When this happened, Syria was on top. After Syria fell, who came on top? It was the Assyrians. Jonah was prepping the Assyrians to repent enough to where the Most High can use them for the next world power. What am I trying to say? All I'm trying to say is he got taught from the best and was still pouting. But these Assyrians didn't get that kind of development, that one-on-one, and they were still negative in Jonah. But we're going to sit back and look at the worst in people that got less time than we did. But we want to judge. We want to sit back and see the worst in our people. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Like I said, there's more to this class, but it don't make no sense to keep going with these verses.
Can I make a point?
Yes, you can.
And why I'm getting at this, and this is a beautiful point, I believe, is there's a difference between knowledge and breakdowns and the ability to disseminate scriptures and the application of wisdom, which is the Spirit of Christ.
But see, I want to make sure we're clear on that. How do you disseminate wisdom? You can't. It can't be about you at all.
Yeah.
And this is the last verse you're going to go to, 1 Corinthians 10 and 33. Because another way you can actually utilize wisdom, it can't be about how you feel, how you've been talked to, how you've been dealt with. None of that can matter. 1 Corinthians 10:33.
I got one scripture.
Okay, that's cool.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 33. It says, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit.
Listen, I got to sit back and seek what you need. What do you need for you to get the fight in you?
Oh, wow.
What do I got to do to get you right?
That's crazy.
It ain't about how I feel or how I was talked to, or this guy disrespected me, or this guy looked at me funny.
That's me seeking my own profit.
That's me seeking my own profit.
So most times using that person to expose me.
Yes, you're in it for you. You got to be in it for their profit. What is this? What's wrong with this person? Maybe this person's stressed out. Has this person been in the book? Maybe this person's getting weak. Let me bring him closer to me. That's the thinking we have to have if we want to rehabilitate.
How can I better set the table and give this person routines and structures?
I counseled about it yesterday. You can sit back here and yell at a person being off. Like, for instance, I ran a brother's house years ago. I remember if I didn't set the tone the night before, if I didn't go to each room and make sure brothers had their clothes ready, if I didn't sit back here and do the thinking for people, we know people's pattern. We know people don't sit back here and do everything they're supposed to do the night before, right? So are you going to sit back here and think for them and make sure that each brother in their room is responsible? There was a brother, for instance, when I used to get up in the morning, I would get everybody up. Like, I'll get up. Listen, you had to get up at, I think it was 6:30 at the time. I would get up at 6. Start getting up, making sure things are going. I knew this one guy would sit back here. I would knock on the door, open the door. He would do this. He would be laying flat, but I'm up. And as soon as I close the door, every day. So I can sit back here and say, you know what? Let him do it. I had to go back to his room 3 times. Every day, it was 3 times to ensure he got up so the operation of the camp can run. I had to sit back here, but get up enough time to eat. I had to make sure I had to be conscious. Okay, how long will it take for this guy? There was one brother, not gonna name his name. Listen, he used to put hair color in his hair. He would like edge up his hair the wrong way. It was weird, bro. He would sit back and use pen like a pen color to like line up his head in the morning. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. He would sit back here and be in a mirror for like 30 minutes. He was like this. He was like this. He was in the mirror just doing his thing. And he was young. He didn't even have a receding hairline. It was just, it wasn't like he was like some guy whose stuff was back here. I don't understand if it's back here.
He's enhancing himself.
It's just, I'm putting extra color. It's just dark color. His hair was like super dark. Like, dude, it's darker than dark. So, okay. This guy, okay, then cool. He's got like, he normally takes 25 minutes to get this done. But he wouldn't be a problem because he would get up early. Cool. But everybody, some brother would sit back here and take forever to iron. But I knew he would be trash and inspection. So I used to fight with this guy every night to make sure his iron. You ever see that rough, dry iron job out? It's rough job. You just roll over like twice, and you can still see the wrinkles through it out.
There's no start.
That's how this guy did. I heard it. He had long sleeves. It was all rough, dry out. It was like he washed it, threw it in the dryer, took it out, and put it on that. And that wasn't the standard act. So I had to make sure things were done the night before. So who had to lose? You. I'm losing. Everybody's smiling and laughing, and I'm sitting back here. It's like 9:30. Here we go. What I got to do to make sure? There was another brother who never slept in his bed. Wherever he was tired is where he slept. If there was a meal in front of him and he ate chicken that day, it was chicken, and he would sit back here and he'd sleep in here.
Yeah.
And you wait, and you had the first one. I don't even go in his room at night. I go right to the living room, and he's sitting back here like this. And I'm like, brother, you gotta go. So, nothing is never prepared on any level. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Because I had to create contingencies for all of this weirdo stuff. I'm like, can you go in your bed and go to sleep and stop being a weirdo? But I can argue about why brothers being weirdos, or I can just sit back here and create contingencies for the weirdo-ness. You can do one or two things. Yell about why do people do craziness and why do they do crazy things like they do. Or you work around it to get the job done so we can get out on time. So it's not about me. I can go yell and scream about you're not in order like I'm in order. I went to sleep at a certain time. Yeah, some brothers want to be up all night and they can't get up like they're little babies. Yeah. Dude, can you go to sleep at 10:30? Is it? How about 12? Can you make it 12? No. No. There's more shows to watch. I want to up to 2.
Or YouTube.
Okay, cool. You're up at 2, but then you can't wake up at night in the morning. So I gotta do this. Wake up. Wake up. Why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing me? Because you gotta get up. I don't care how you feel. I'm gonna keep shaking you until you get up. And then I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come back because you're not up yet. Then you gotta start doing this. Like it's more cowbell. You just gotta keep knocking on the cowbell. Wake up. Boop, 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 boop. And you gotta keep pushing them because they're not waking up.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
This is the truth. Listen, I have learned to do this because that's what it takes. I can say there's pride and rebelliousness and wickedness in Israel, or I got to get up and do more to make sure the job gets done. Do we do that at the brother's house? Do we do this at the trucks and at the job? No, because we tell ourselves they should know it by now. I already told them. They should figure it out. Why don't you realize they just can't do it right now, or they don't have what it takes to do it? So who got to do it? The ranking man got to do it. That's what being a ranking man is all about. That's what taking the oversight means. I got to take care of the details that they don't want to take care of. Because that's what my job requires. If I don't want to do that job, fade back and do bare minimum and see how the Most High deals with your life. Read it again, 1 Corinthians 10 and 33.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 33. Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit.
My own ego, pats on the back, acknowledgement, the type of respect I think I deserve. None of that matters. You know what matters? The job getting accomplished. The only thing that matters is did the job get done? And if the job got done, more times than not, you didn't get a thank you for it. You didn't get appreciated. All that mattered is you lost more sleep than they did. You were more inconvenienced than they did, but the job got accomplished. So be joyous in the fact that the job got accomplished.
That's the thank you. The thank you is that the job got done.
And the body got taken care of. And then guess what? Tomorrow's coming. So somebody got to sit back and think about all the different kind of monkey antics that happen in the camp. And how can I help circumvent the antics? The Tom and Jerry show out.
Yeah.
Because the reality in the camp, there's a lot of Tom and Jerry stuff going on here, right? Three Stooges. All kind of craziness going on, right? There's a lot of Three Stooges stuff going on. Like this. Give me the thing about
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of this stuff going on, right?
Get you back.
And you get angry at it, or you can just accept this is part of teaching and counseling. Anyways, read verse 33 again. There's a lot of antics going on in Julian.
Powerful being.
read verse 33 out. You think I'm joking? I hope y'all online don't think this is real life situations we're explaining out. The idiosyncrasies of human beings, Israelite Akim. When you get past all the tough talk, there's real extreme ways that we have on that you got to work around for the sake of the body getting where it's got to be.
It's
read
the
verse 33.
You got to go to so long.
Time.
It's your labyrinth.
Yep.
10, verse 33.
Yep.
Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of men.
What matters is that the body gets taken care of. Not my pride or my ego getting stroked. Did the men get what they needed? Read on.
It says that they may be saved.
That they may be saved.
Or sustained for the moment.
Or sustained for the moment. We'll continue this next week. Well, hopefully we get through more verses. You want to go through a verse real quick? I think that's the point, though.
I think it's kind of cool, bro.
Let's finish off with that. There's more we can go into. There's way more on the topic that we have not touched. But for now, we'll stop at that. Any questions? The water for tuning in, y'all. See y'all on Wednesday. All right? Shalom.